just going to read the last chapter with you, the way we did last time. Sound good?
You said sound good. Anyway, I'm born ready, always.
Oh, great. And my webcam broke again. I can't get a break with this webcam lately. It doesn't matter if I test it beforehand and make sure it's working. The second I switch...
And the sooner you realize that, the better.
I don't understand. I checked that it was working first. Hi, everybody. This is a weird one. Don't worry about it. Okay, we got it working. Oh my god. Hey everybody, I didn't read the last chapter in time, so we're going to read it live at the beginning like we did the time that Mama didn't read the most recent chapter. So we're going to get to this. Ready, everybody? We ready? Are you okay just getting into it?
I'm not going to lie to you. I loved this section.
This was one of my... I mean, it just keeps getting better, right? I'm sorry, I just got to turn a light on. I didn't do any prep. It's been a weird few days. Ugh. Okay, I'm here. The lights are on. I still find it crazy how much people are hyped on Fang, even now that we're caught up.
You gotta be kidding me. Fang has got a thing to him. Like he's gonna do us well. I'm
about to see his backstory right now, live. Let's read this before we start.
All right, I'm into it.
167. Let's go. We're at 167. Hey. I did know Fang is strong. I was actually aware of that.
Yeah, this is the problem, is all this time Drawk didn't know Fang was strong. If he'd only known that, he would understand the hype.
Okay, that's a good panel. I do like it. Just looking at what Mom was chosen for the art for the week. It was cool.
Oh, I chose perfect for the art.
Okay.
Thank you so much, game. I'm so happy you came for the ride game because not everyone did, and they are missing out.
Not in people who didn't stick with us and join this are missing out. The series is so incredible. It's shocking how it keeps getting better, and it's so unique. All of my doubts and concerns about it were ill-founded, and it's just incredible how much it's lived up to its potential. It's not Phil. Okay. Are we ready to read 167 together?
Yeah, do it. Let's hear this. I'm excited for you to care about Fang more.
First, I got stronger in order to survive. Just by beating up a bunch of ne'er-do-wells who come at you looking at them the wrong way, I was able to keep myself fed. I was simply content with that. But only because I didn't know what heights were achievable. What do you want? You're the kid who's been hunting down the town's delinquents as of late. Violence isn't the answer. Let me teach you how to make use of that power with martial arts. Am I reading the whole thing? I thought we were taking turns.
Oh, I can read the other part if you want. I'm in. You read ahead because I'm not there yet, and then I'll catch up and read.
Okay. Martial arts, you say? Indeed. Copying you has allowed me to exert more power. Who knew balling a fist a certain way would make such a huge difference? Intriguing. What other techniques do you possess? Tell me. You try to misuse my school's teachings, and my master and the other disciples won't take it lying down. Oh. From that day forward, my strength, sounds fun, was no longer a mere tool for survival. Now we will begin.
Say before we go on, because I'm ready to read.
Yeah.
I might have read 168.
Okay, yeah, let's just read this for now.
Now we will begin the championship round. The previous champion, Fang Kowloon, versus his disciple, Sheng Zan. Begin! Shen, you said you figured out what being the strongest means. Is that the truth? Huh? Oh, sure it is. Miss Fuuko, please take care of Mew. Not on your life. What? Oh, really?
Oh, no. Okay, no. This is okay. You're on mobile, aren't you? You're on mobile, aren't you?
Yeah.
Okay. You just read the second half of a double page, so now I'm going to read both of these.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Because I'm on desktop, so it'd be really weird,
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so it really is because of this, huh? It sure is. It's called untruth. It flip-flops the actions of any person you're fond of when you lay eyes on them. Please make good use of it. And it won't matter for this match. Huh? After all, I hate this old man. The victor is Feng Kowloon. I've heard of this martial arts tournament and decided to try my hand. But I see this is all you've got. I have learned all your techniques. From this day forward, I, Feng Kowloon, shall be known as the strongest in all creation. If anyone objects, come at me whenever and wherever you please. Yeah, we'll do just that, no matter how many decades it takes. We'll avenge this disgrace. Yes, that's the spirit.
Then, till I, Fen Kowloon, grow old and fade away, I will await your challenges atop the throne of the strongest. Thinking about it now, since that day, I'll be taking this Kokatuan. My body has ceased aging or waning. Fuuko is
That's cool. It explains
Fuuko
why
is
he's like this in this world.
I need to ask you something. Ah, the negation ability, or whatever you mentioned. Does it have something to do with my unaging body? Big brother. Ugh.
Yes, you are unfade, the negator of aging. You said that tragedy accompanies that manifestation of this is him. You said that tragedy accompanies the manifestation of negation abilities, correct? Yes, I never had one. Along my path of conquest, I've never had anything bring me sorrow. That's a lie. Because of your unaging, you've been fixated on your own personal strength. What? The endless pursuit of strength, the hollowness of being the only one in their prime as everyone around you wastes away. And what tragedy accompanies that? It is the power for one striving to reach the apex of individual prowess, and stop it. You always said. You would always, look listlessly into the distance.
Look at me! I am the man who will surpass you! Thanks to Miss Fuuko, you took on a disciple unnecessary for someone like you, who doesn't age. I'm the only one who can change you. Then just try to surpass me, right here, right now. Yeah. The school of Shin Hakyoku focuses on the mastery of the 8 extremities for their true form. Shu, Kin, Shi, Ka, Ten, Du, Moku, Kai. Master and join them together and you will see the 9th apex extremity. Cool.
Extremity of life. Makaijin, life destruction formation. What the fuck? Okay. We got Super Saiyan now.
Super Saiyan!
That is a secret technique that only my unfading body is capable of withstanding. You've done nothing more than take an advance on your time left on Earth. In the end, just like me, you have chosen individual strength. I'm not gonna die, because I'm your disciple, and you're my master. What does that mean? Why?
Has a mere 50 years extinguished your fighting spirits? If you're martial artist, then you'll keep fighting against the strong and winning. Why do you not cry? Why do you not hate? Your strikes have been negated by me. If you're saying this because of old age, then no. That is not it, Feng. We have entrusted matters to the next generation, to those who will inherit our strengths and come to surpass it. How are you able to stand there smiling when it is you who have lost? The strength of your disciples is not your own. Don't run from me. Don't just leave me behind. Don't leave me by myself.
That's really good. Just act like an old man and rejoice in your son's growth. With the Shin Hakyu I learned from you, with the strength I learned from everyone, I'm going to surpass you and become the strongest fighter. Not enough after all, huh? Fang is out of the ring. The count will begin now. Still have a long way to go. Your turn.
If you want to inherit Shin Hakyaku, you'll have to do it over my dead My body won't move. Untruth? Whatever, right? You get instantly riled up the rare occasion I hit you with a good attack, making this the perfect time to activate it. Way to go, Mr. Shen. This is sure to work. But you said you couldn't use that power on me. Yi, san. Oh man, you really are totally hopeless outside of fighting. What? Ba, untruth, reverses the action of a person the user is fond of. Ju. That was untrue. A lie, you dummy.
Is
The
that his way of
victor
saying
is
that in this
Shen
time
Shan.
he likes himself?
Not bad. Not bad, my dumb son.
Aw, that's so sweet.
See?
Okay, so let's start by immediately addressing something that I think is so special about this manga that I've realized I think he is better at than any mangaka I have ever read. Now, not every mangaka goes for this. This isn't like the thing. But I think, oh wait, why would I grow it out? I'm supposed to do thumbnailing. I think that this mangaka is better at ending story arcs than anyone I've read, insofar as basically every arc so far, with a couple of rare exceptions, I have liked them less reading throughout than I end up liking them retrospectively once I see how it comes together.
Okay, I agree, but on the other hand, this was fire. This whole thing was gold. It was fire from moment one.
Oh yeah, all of this segment of bringing everyone together was incredible.
It was ridiculous. It was a masterclass in awesomeness.
It was amazing. I still feel like this last one to me I didn't feel as strongly about until it came together at the end, and now I love it. That ending was great.
I felt strongly about it from the moment I saw her. I think I squeed. She comes out. She's doing shit. We started at 133, right?
We started 133. Oh no, I'm talking about specifically the part with Shen and Fang. Like that part
100%.
until I saw how it ended, 100%. I wasn't liking as much.
As I read the Shen part, I was like, meh, yeah, it's pretty good. Oh, okay, that's amazing. That's amazing. Mm-hmm. Also, I did read 168, and you'll be lucky I didn't read 169. I only didn't read 169 because I had to read more Witch Hat Atelier. And Witch Hat Atelier saved me from, you could say it's Wicked Sick Rabbit.
You could.
I feel like I'm just preaching to the choir because we don't have a ton of people here who don't already like Undead Unluck. Like I want to spread the word.
It's a talk about like what's good about it.
I understand that, but I want to spread the word and find a way to get it out there into the universe and make people be like, "Oh my god, I should have been reading this the whole time."
So we were talking today. We did a lot of phone calls, like checking in about things, so that we knew what to go over because I kept having observations as I was catching up. And as we did so, I came to the realization that I think, obviously, because it's beloved and it's kind of like famous, and I think if there's anything that on a thumbnail is gonna look like wild to people for My Mom Read, it's probably gonna be Berserk. Like I think that's gonna be like. That's gonna get people's interest. So I think Berserk is going to get more views. And I was talking today about how like we can't directly campaign for it or it'll ruin the Berserk read through for Berserk fans. But we need to find ways throughout reading Berserk to like allude to Undead Unluck in a way that'll get people's interest about it and like highlight how special it is. Like we need to like come up with buttons ahead of time of how we should bring it up. Because I genuinely want a mission of our YouTube channel to be getting people into Undead Unluck. We are going to do more Warhammer 40k. The issue is that Mama Drawk is a teacher, so we can't do stuff during the week anymore, and I don't know when to fit it in. Although this person, I'm planning on fitting it in.
My Mom Reads Chainsaw Man will also be good.
Yeah, same with
Attack on Titan. We read 133 together, didn't we?
We did, I think.
Because you knew all about the picking up the pen.
Yes, we did read 138. Or sorry, 133 together.
Okay, so we start at 134 today.
counter of anytime we say uncomfortable in Berserk. Oh god.
Excuse me? We read 130. We're reading 134 on today, right?
Yes.
Okay. I have seldom enjoyed a section of chapters more than I did 134 to 168. It was so freaking good. Like, so freaking good. Didn't you just, every time you turned the
whole
page,
section was
didn't you feel like you were just in like an amazing kind of nostalgia meets hopefulness? I was thinking about, that's okay, King. I was thinking about that idea of like, why do we love this so much? Why is this type of thing so good? It's not just that it's a glow up and you're getting to see like this really cool glow up moment where Fuuko comes into herself, and that's amazing, and that's worth it all on its own, in my opinion, because it makes you feel like you have unlocked potential that, given the time, the desire, and the space to do it, that you could also unlock your own potential. I really feel like that's one of the reasons we all love that so much.
I think throughout this whole section, there's something that I really love, that the series never loses something that it always has, which is how special each person is. How what they're good at is so important. But despite that, like, Fuuko is not the world's greatest martial artist. However, she is very, very good and has learned how to infuse her unlock into her martial arts in an incredible way. She's not the world's greatest scientist because, like, that's not where her talents are, but she's a competent enough scientist and engineer now that she built a ready-made lab so that Nico could get right to work building for her. She's not the world's best marksman, but she's an incredible sharpshooter who's good enough to land a shot when she needs to unload her bad bullets. It's great that she's been able to use her time to become so incredibly competent, but in a way that's still highlighting the skills of all the people around her. It's amazing.
But I was going to get there. The thing I think is the reason that we like this one so much and why people will be like, oh my God, this is so good, is that not only is she doing a glow up, not only are we getting her to unlock stuff in her the way that we always hope we will unlock our own awesomeness, how we all secretly hope we're the farm boy turned into wizard, but she also unlocks everyone else. So just being her friend means that if you're willing to put in the time and energy, you are also unlocked and have a glow up. And the reason that she is so incredible is she's not trying to unlock stuff for herself. She's learning things that she needs to learn in order to strengthen people she loves. And so it is the friendship of Fuuko that's really the superpower.
Yeah. It's we're going to talk more about this as we go. Someone was talking about how, like, a lot of people who with low media literacy accuse Fuuko now of being a Mary Sue. But, like, this isn't a character who came out of nowhere knowing everything. She had to work hard to learn all these, and she is explicitly not the best at the things she's doing. Like,
even at all.
Yeah, like, she is not the best sharpshooter, best martial artist, best scientist, best anything. But she's very good at everything because she had 200 years to train, and I think that's a great middle ground. Yeah, and she worked for all of it.
She works for everything, and it feels like she didn't waste a single moment on the earth that she was here when she wasn't with Undead. She hasn't wasted a single second. And I think that's really important to remember, that 200 years is how long it takes to amass billions of dollars. But lots of people could be on Earth for 200 years and not amass billions of dollars. She took care to learn how, and she did it right. And, you know, it does help that she knew which areas would be great, etc.
She had the help of artifacts because she knew about magic powers. But
exactly. But regardless of all that, she used all her freaking time. And I think it's impressive as hell. And she trained in martial arts, even though the first time she did the kata, she was like, and that's just doing pattern. And she was just not really that good. She worked her ass off to the point that Fang wants to fight her all the time. And it's so glow up. It's so glow up that she's become one of my favorite characters of all time. I wish her and Luffy could be best friends. Well, I feel like this author literally wrote somebody who could go toe-to-toe and be best friends with Luffy.
But it's great because she's the same as Luffy in so many ways, but also entirely different in that, like, planning, strategy, and thinking about how to do this matters. Like, her goal is to do what Luffy does, but it's not like thoughtless force of personality. It's the thing that's special about her is her kindness. It's how open she is, how much she cares about people, but she does think about how to do this. There is thought in it. Like, she's a very different character, but like, I absolutely understand the comparisons for sure.
But she is I'm going to be the ultimate friend like Luffy. I'm going to force you to fight for yourself and strengthen yourself, and I will be here for you. Get your own agency as Luffy.
Well, and she understands what everyone needs.
He is the jump in and do things without any planning. But on the other hand, she is amazing at pivoting. So when shit comes at her, even though she plans and plans and plans, if shit comes at her and that doesn't work, she's like, pivot, and just switches it up and does something new. So she's thoughtful in planning and uses her brain. So she's both the same and opposite of Luffy. And I think that's pretty amazing.
Fuuko
I loved
one of my favorite protagonists of all time. This section has escalated her from a great character who I love to one of my favorites of all time.
Yeah. I absolutely agree. And I love that the moon is there watching us. I feel like I always felt like the moon was watching us, and there's more to the moon in One Piece. And I honestly feel like this person felt the same way when they were reading One Piece, and they're like, fine, I'm going to make the moon a real character.
Here for sure. Like, it just is. It's just there.
Exactly, but I feel like this person decided to turn that shit up.
First on chatter saying we're going to space has the same energy as we're going to the sky. Totally true. Yeah. What was your reaction to Ripped Fuuko? Okay, so my reaction's twofold, which is I think she looks amazing, and it's a great sign of her progress. But I think slightly chubby Fuuko's very cute. So, you know, we got two feelings on it. She looks fantastic. I also liked her short hair, but the fact that it's become part of like her fighting style is way too cool for me to not love the crazy long hair.
Oh no, she's got to have this long hair, because let's be honest, it's a freaking incredible weapon, and infusing her hair to send out the unluck is genius. You know what I realized while reading this? Fuuko herself is incredibly lucky.
Mm-hmm.
She finds herself in the right place, right time to get in with people. She finds the right people to help her decide, and artifacts to help her decide what to invest in. Like, yes, she absolutely uses her brain. She absolutely works hard, but her as a human, she's got luck on her side. Which is just...
we have another person here for the first time. A lot of first-time chatters today. People are excited about this section of story.
They should be. It's freaking amazing.
I'll also say, something I love about this author with Ripped Fuuko is I have some issues with how they draw musculature. Like I've said before, it just feels like there's not that much like it's skill and anatomy knowledge, but it when you're into art enough, you get like a sense of people's vibe of how they approach art. And I totally agree with what someone said before, that they definitely like muscular women more than muscular men, because the muscular women are drawn with like, there's a different vibe. There is a different like of aesthetic there. But something that's really cool with how muscular Fuuko is drawn is that this person has this mangaka has a great knowledge of how skeleture and musculature interact with each other. And like, she is the same frame with muscle put on it. She doesn't look like an entirely different body. And I find a lot of people, when they do like, oh, they're buff now, kind of ignore that the muscles are attached to the same structures.
I love your art inspiration. I need you to come back with me to Fuuko's luck and how this is a thing I think is worth pointing out, because I think we're going to use it to Fuuko's benefit. And I think it matters because it made me pay attention to how the other people react to their own negating powers. Like, the untruth person tries to be a very truthful person in all areas and have the truth done.
The unfair person has a great consideration for fairness.
Exactly. And say with Fuuko, putting unluck into the world and yet being a person who attracts her own luck.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's going to be a really important thing that happens later on because as she's putting out unluck to God, I think she's also going to have luck on her side, which is going to help her team, because Fuuko brings luck, and then she only brings unluck if she touches.
I think there's something to it for sure. I've been thinking a lot about like the deeper implications of the unabilities. Like one thing that I was talking about to you on the phone today was how interesting I found it to have. I mean, we didn't talk about this, but first of all, having the guy who is the liar tell everyone his ability is unbelievable. I think that's fantastic.
Amazing.
Really
Amazing.
good. But then on top of that, we have the guy whose whole policy was, I'm going to carry everyone's power. I'm going to be the bad guy. I'm going to take on everything myself, and I'm going to carry all of you on my back. And he shows up with the ability to have lucky shots, right? That's what he's claiming his ability is. And then Fuuko is wanting to take on the world with, I'm going to bring everyone together, build you up, we're going to do this, I will be the centerpiece of building everyone else up. And she shows up with her power being unlucky shots. That's great. That inversion, I have to imagine that's intentional, and I fucking love it.
I agree. I also think it's pretty incredible that she's trying to negate everybody else's, like we talked earlier about how she's trying to negate everybody else's traumatic event that put them into here, and every other manga is like, trauma in the past is so important, and this manga's like, fuck that. But even though she's getting rid of everybody else's traumatic events, she couldn't have got rid of her own.
Nope.
And so she has to live with her own trauma while negating the trauma of others.
Well, because you brought it up, how fucking sick is it that this manga, instead of having tragic backstories just be there for motivation and background, that our mission for this arc becomes undoing tragic backstories, acknowledging them and countering them, getting rid of them.
And then saying there's no need for everybody to be born out of trauma. It reminds me of this show that I used to listen to on a podcast where the person was like, one of the things that pisses me off the most is that people think that in order to be a great artist or a great writer or songwriter, that you have to have mental illness. Shouldn't we be the type of people who are saying, like, what does it look like to be an artist who is calm and within themselves and has a good life? Why do we have to expect our artists to also, and in order to be famous, in order to do well, that they have to suffer? And that's kind of what this reminded me of, that the author was like, screw that. I don't want the characters to have to suffer. In fact, those things are only going to be there for Fuuko to negate. Also, it's a negating ability, and Fuuko goes in and is practicing that negating power.
Mm-hmm. There's something to that with my observations. I mean, it's our observations, but I like to say my, because death of the author is something I still believe in, so it's a theory that I think of as the grounding piece, which is why I keep bringing it up this way. But something about that ties into the postmodern reading of this that I really like, where we don't have to have these tragic backstories to exist as competent, good people. We have to have them to be in the story, because God is creating these curses, these tragedies that come with your powers. To be a main character, to be a player in the story, to have a role in the story, you need tragedy, is what's being declared. And in Fuuko's act of defying God, who I perceive as representing or being literally one of the other, being the author, you are counteracting the tragic backstories that are seen as an essential part of character and of story. And the pursuit Fuuko wants is for people to have a life where their tragedies are just those that are man-made, that they're not enforced by the being that I see as the author, which to me feels like characters choosing to not be characters, to be people, to live their life.
Yeah, because you and I, when we were talking about it, and we were going back and forth about how one of us says video game and one of us says book, and then we kind of sat on this idea of, you know what fits video game and book, and the fact that they are all players. There are rules and regulations that they follow. There's leveling up. There's all these different things, because true to form, it does fit both of those things 100,000 media %, but it feels like it's an RPG.
Like we were on the phone earlier today when I brought up the idea of a tabletop RPG, and there's so many little elements. Like, the rules are set at a table. You have to meet at the table. There's a rule book that gives you the instructions. The way people move around is a being in the shape of a D10. Like there's a lot of little things that feel like they hint at tabletop RPG vibes. Whether that's there intentionally or not, it is interesting. You get quests?
Yeah.
You get quests.
Yeah, you get quests like structure in it. There's game-like rules and mechanics, progression of power and scaling, multiple realms and ultimate universes. Like there's all sorts of things that run within a RPG. And then it feels like, because both of us are like, it feels like a game. It feels like a book. It feels like a game. Yeah, and you could even have 2 DMs. And so we were saying, well, you know what has a lot of writing and has a lot of game is, like tabletop RPGs. And then the characters in this can decide they don't like the role that gods have put them in, and they don't want to be part of these gods' plans, and they try to live their lives outside of the plan and win for themselves, which is a freaking, I mean, if that hasn't been written, if that's not what's going on here, someone write that right now.
Yeah. I don't know if it's going that direction, but so we've talked about it being potentially the manga itself, which is the most meta narrative you could do, is if the manga becomes aware that it's a manga, and we have the introduction.
It does feel like fuuko is speedrunning the perfect union.
Yes, absolutely.
That's exactly what it feels like. When I was watching this, we move ahead each time we move. So we're only 200 years out instead of like the times that it was, back in the Stone Age, et cetera, et cetera. And then Fuuko is like, look, in order to do all these things, I need to speed run. So it's collect everyone. Don't worry about how many people are at the table right away, but get them all to be a part of union, whether they sit at the table or not. Because we don't want to have to lose people at the table and commit everyone to the table's things. And the skipping of the quests.
If Jackie wants to show up, Jackie can. If someone wants to tweet her, sure. But we're not like going to try to pressure people to show up to the show.
But can I just say that we should, once we are caught up, we should invite Jackie to come.
We need to have Jackie on to talk to her. Absolutely. That's going to happen once we catch up.
Yes, but also, now that I've read this far ahead, because I thought that her character was pretty cool, but I had no idea. Like, she must
characters in fiction.
She must be freaking just like next level excited to see where her character is going.
From saying Jackie is playing a great protagonist to she is playing one of fiction's greatest characters.
100%. 100%. When I started to read where Fuuko went, I started to realize why people were like, I love Fuuko. Fuuko is amazing. And I was like, she's great.
I loved her before this. I loved her. It's just crazy that I can keep liking Fuuko more, honestly.
Yes.
It feels, that's why it feels the same as Luffy, because like, I loved Luffy by Alabasta. I found him incredible. Him punching Crocodile through the ceiling was great. But the fact that I could continue to love him even more, like through things like Eni's Lobby, and his actions during Impel Down, like, it was incredible. And we've gotten there so much faster. Think about it. This many chapters, One Piece was in like what? Little Garden, Drum Island,
Little
right?
Garden and Drum Island, yeah. And I wasn't a huge fan of Drum Island.
Yeah, but I think we've just reached Alabasta by this point in One Piece.
Yeah.
That's crazy. We've gotten to this point of loving Fuuko so quickly compared to One Piece.
You know what I loved about her decisions in this? Like in 134, who's the first person she gets? Nico.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, who's going to be the first person she gets? Da-da-da-da-da-da. Her very first thing she gives a shit about is Nico.
Well, and after saving Akira, but Akira's not part of the team.
Yeah. You know what I mean. And she's with Nico, and she's like, okay, this is the thing that I'm going to do, blah, blah, blah. And it made me realize how much she understood each one of the characters while I was watching her work with Nico. She's like, yeah, mostly what I save this money for is you. Because I know that you, and then, his companions, because she knew the type of people that were coming in and were also big brains, et cetera, et cetera. Because I knew that you would be able to do these great big ideas that I have in order to speed run this arc. And this loop. And she knew him so well. She knew the things to pull him in. But even though she had all this talent at pulling him in, later when she's trying to get other people, she still just says, what is it that convinced you to join me? Like she doesn't rely on just herself. She's thrilled to bring everybody in to be part of it. She loves to share in the leadership.
The recruitment
She's a billionaire.
is fantastic. Yeah, she's a multi-billionaire. She's like world's richest person, basically.
Multi-billionaire.
Yeah. Like, she can give someone a check for $25 billion. I don't know if you can even clear a check for $25 billion. I'm pretty sure that transfer needs to be like watched by the government. But, you know, I guess finance wasn't one of, like, laws of economics wasn't something she looked up.
I would agree, KPC. She's probably a trillionaire.
Well, I'm not going to commit to trillionaire just because in our real world there aren't any known trillionaires yet. Although probably
there are
if you count families of 1%ers as a
except for
single
Drawk,
entity.
she pays something like $483 billion for a thing and goes, "Yep, that's fine." And then she's done that more than once.
She's probably a trillionaire.
So she's in the trillions. There's no way she's not.
So, oh man, the recruitment of Nico to me makes a lot of sense. You know, prove that physics are broken, and then he's already on board. He's like, "This sucks. Fucking stupid ass. Fucking okay, whatever." That's great. Now, the recruitment of Unavoidable, the only shame here is, to me, this is the peak of this section. Like, the writing is at its best during the recruitment of Unavoidable. And that's not to say I disliked the rest.
I don't think so.
Okay, we'll get into disagreement. This is my favorite part of this section. Can I take the lead for this part?
Well, you can just start.
I think this is written so deftly. It happens so quickly, the movement through it. Fuuko understands that this is someone who loves the respect and honor in boxing. This is people going up against people they're matched against. He talks about weight classes. He's like, "Hey, you have the boxer spirit. That's great. I'm too big for you. This isn't a street fight. This is a sport about honor and categories." And Fuuko has to convince him, "I'm not a boxer, though. I want to fight you in the place we are the same category, human beings." Everyone tells her, "Use your negator ability. You have to do this." And she's like, "No, this is the last chance he gets to fight as a boxer. This is the last chance he gets to fight as a human being. I'm going to give him a fight as a human being." And starts using her powers to their fullest the second Unavoidable activates, so that his tragedy is reshaped into a promise that he's not done, that he still has a league of his own, that he still gets to fight against other people who can give him a fair fight, because she's doing okay, but she's getting throttled before she's able to use her negator abilities, and once she can, she's getting stupid hits in. She's using a spotlight to blind him, getting things to fall around. It's fantastic, and it's this amazing way of introducing, it's written so deftly to so quickly make you realize, oh, she's found a way to turn a tragedy into a promise. And it adds so much character to him, and it adds so much depth to Fuuko's understanding of people so quickly. And I think anything that can write something that deep, interesting, unique, well-structured that quickly, that's miraculous to me. I think that is a sleight of hand of writing the likes of which I can't remember having seen before. It's incredible to me. And it was that fast to summarize. What do I add to that?
No, I loved it. Don't get me wrong. But I felt without the Nico take-in, without the work that she did with Nico when we didn't really know who...
Is Nico your favorite from this section that we read?
I don't know, but the reason that her recruiting of him was my favorite is you couldn't have had a punch-out thing look so deep, academic, thoughtful, philosophical, etc., unless you had had the conversations that you had with Nico, the ones where he got so angry and he says the answers and the rules that the scientists of yesteryear dedicated their entire lives to uncovering are being rewritten at the whim of some lousy god, and we're not even given the right to realize that it's happening. So for me, this whole discussion with Nico and the way she goes in with Nico about God versus science versus strength versus powers, and how they have this whole discussion is the only reason the rest of this arc sits so comfortably where it sits. Because then she can go into a punchy punch round where she is understanding the depth of what's going on here for Void and what needs to happen. And we see it in this deep philosophical way because we had this entire thing about what shouldn't exist, what should exist, what science should be versus what God should be allowed to do to you. And so because we had this whole conversation with Nico and this incredible setup where she argues with him and then says, I figured that since you were the Nico that I knew, that I knew that you would do this and you would understand it, but I didn't. Where he said, only be interested in someone who's an intellectual match, and I want to take on God because any God that would take on the world and negate the science of it and not let us understand who we were and what we were. How are you going to make use of myself and science? The circles represent the negators, and he said, I'm in. Why am I in? Because I am so pissed off that science isn't the thing that I think it was, that the existence of these gods tears down my ability to work hard for prediction and to understand my world, that it can be flipped up and then not even the memory is left with me. Fuck that. And so when you have this basis, and that's the first person you pick up, it allows for all of these other things to happen and feel like they have stability, and feel that you can go back into the Umas and them being so unpredictable and chaotic. But we have this stable platform that the relationship between Nico and fuuko built.
I agree. I think it is such a great act of writing that we only get to understand Nico in the previous loop at the very end, so that he's so fresh in our mind, and then we immediately recruit him and get to address all of the things that were brought up with him and see Fuuko's ability to fundamentally change him. I agree, it's incredible. I prefer the story with Void because I've never seen something that felt so complete so quickly. Like, it told you Void's prior backstory almost entirely through implication of how she was acting. Like, it's entirely through implication that you understand how much it destroyed him to lose fighting, to lose having this challenge, and having fuuko have learned the lesson she learned from Andy with traveling through his book, that you can just teach someone to reinterpret the world and it can reshape how they view everything. She reshaped Andy's view of death and it changed his abilities, and she reshaped Void's perception of fighting and it changed everything. But I do fully agree with you that the thing with Nico is absolutely brilliant. This whole section,
I just think the rest of it couldn't have stood the way it did unless we'd had the stability of the movement with Nico and the philosophy that we had with Nico. No, we're not apologizing to anyone. We can hate characters the way the author intended.
Yeah, look, Roxanne actually pointed out something great, that it was intentional that Void wasn't remembered, that he wasn't thought about kindly when he died, and they show these hints that he was an alcoholic and like lonely and sad, miserable, that he didn't have any friends in the organization. Like, that was intentionally written that way. And now we get to see a version of Void that is given life, and
I would still say
was done
Void in the last loop sucked.
Yeah,
I stand behind that. Void in this loop is killing it. Void in the last loop sucked.
And Fuuko's fixed that. Fuuko fixed Void.
I have to say too, I freaking adore the Gina. Oh,
the Gina thing, bringing Gina on was great. Saving Gina as their first mission, that felt like a real mission. The reintroduction of Feng, that he was just like launching himself around to find her, and that's what the Unluck brought, is fucking fantastic.
For me, it was Gina talking to herself.
Yeah,
Gina talking to herself was my everything. When I thought, okay, we're not even going to address the fact that there's been so many loops and and I'm kind of pissy about that and and suddenly when Gina's past self came out, I was like, oh no, this is not going to be good. And instead of it not being good, having the past life Gina be like, don't F this up. Here is everything that happened. Here is why it happened. Here is what we did. And what does that do to Gina? I am dedicating my soul to Fuuko. I will show her that I am everything. I am a friend that is attached to her soul to soul.
How fucking beautiful is that too? How fucking beautiful is that we see we see the past Gina think about her love of Andy and be like, yeah, that motivated me. Do you have someone you love? And seeing Gina be like, it's Fuuko because she was my first friend. Like, that's
It was
so
amazing.
cute.
And seeing the idea of that first friendship come back up with Fuuko and Mew later on, it's Mew, my very first friend. It was amazing. Also, the Ichiko Nomori arc, the way that it was done this time and how she saved her and made sure that it didn't have to have the same way that it did before. Everything she's doing, it was like, as I was reading these chapters, I kept being like, there's no way this can get more peak. And every time I was like, oh my God, I can't believe she did that. Oh my God, I can't believe she did that. It's so incredible. Every single thing she did.
Someone's saying that I didn't see this, that apparently there's a little bonus thing that shows that the onion dress shirt Fuuko had all last loop was Gina's and it was too small for her. And now she got to pass it to new Gina. It's too big for her at first. That's so cute, actually.
Oh, you didn't notice it? It was so adorable.
I didn't see
And when
that.
she
No,
first puts it on, she's wearing it and she's like, oh my God, I can't believe that she gave this to me. And then it's so big on her. And then she's dressed in it. And I was like, oh my God, this is so beautiful. I'm just in love with this.
Right. I missed that's what it was. I thought it was like a sweater or something. Oh my God.
She put it on and it was too big for her. And then she meets her past self and sees how she dresses. And she's like, oh my God, that was my shirt. That was my coat.
But also she sees how she dresses and is like, you're in your 60s. What are you doing?
Yeah, but also she sees it and she thinks, oh my God, all this time Fuuko saved this for me. And she understands that she took that off her dead body. Yeah. She knew she would come back here. It's amazing. Their friendship made me so happy. Because this one doesn't have any fake girl bullshit where they're like, you like my man. Instead, it's just like, no.
I mean, there was like a moment of that, and then she was like, whatever, we lost kid. We got to do what we can to do good.
Yes, exactly. Oh, so beautiful. I love their friendship in here. I love their friendship in here so much.
Also,
and I just adored watching it build and using that backstory with previous her. I really do want to be your friend. I don't know if this unchanged mind will be any use of you, but if I can get as strong as you, that's all I can hope for. And then she said, those feelings won't change. Oh,
I love it. I also, there's a couple people talking about how hot Ichiko is, and all I have to say is, I know y'all people follow people who draw Hex Maniac Girl on Twitter. You just outed yourself. You're Hex Maniac people. I won't be having it.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited to see the way they're going to do the quests because of all the skipping. I'm so excited to see what that's going to look like.
The only thing I'm sad about is that the skipping allowed him to circumvent the thing I was excited about, which was getting to see what this new world would be like with a bunch of different rules missing, because we sped run through adding a bunch of things to make this world more familiar, which is fine. Like, I think it's probably storytelling-wise a good decision and will smooth things over. You, as the author, you now don't need to track what's not supposed to exist in this world all the time, which would get really tiresome. But I was excited to see what a world with a bunch of rules missing was going to look like.
But I was super excited about this when she was like, I saw them doing it in the artifact's memory. I can do that, right? Yes, but you'll be receiving a penalty. Penalty, the addition of Uma Ghost. And immediately Fuuko was like, great, we need Uma Ghost. That works out really well for us. Like, she wasn't upset. She was like, Uma Ghost worked out. That's in fact why I'm alive. Does being a ghost being added really inconvenience us? Most of the penalties aren't anything to fear on their own. There were just people who abused them last time. And so this is why this is so incredible. Mm-hmm. She is really saying these penalties aren't a problem. The problem really comes from getting used to a world that doesn't have them and then having them being added. If we just put them in and then go about our business, then we're going to act and work as if they've always been here. And then we won't feel like we are being penalized. It'll just feel like the normal world. So our brains will actually figure out how to win with their existence being part of it. rather than our brains being taken aback and us being at a loss when they come into being.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was genius.
It was great. I
It was
loved
genius.
Apocalypse getting pissed off. Like, clearly she's figured out the right move, and Apocalypse is like, stop it! Stop! No!
And I'm going to be spinning 20 more times, so keep them coming. 20 times means 20 years. What about the guys on the outside? They happily agreed to this. I was just like, yes, I cannot wait to see their lab when this is done.
What are my thoughts about Uma Crab? I'm glad he's back. I think it'd be sad to not have Crab. Good job, Uma Crab. I'm glad you returned.
Uma Crab, you're the
Crab
real one.
And Uma Insect are sort of the only thing that feel like they go against my Garden of Eden reading of it. But also, you're allowed to make your Garden of Eden not have crabs and insects. Like, they don't have to be there.
Yeah. This is why I like it. As well as, look at, here's where she says it. The time gap between us and Miss Jean and Nico's group shows up in the 70s, but if we keep doing this straight one by one, the next closest tragedy is 28 years away. If we have 28 tries, then the more we spin, the better off we are. True. This is the speed run. These penalties for passing aren't drawbacks to me. They're just ways to avoid unnecessary quests, as well as time-saving measure to expedite recruitment. Pass, pass, pass. These penalties yield the greatest profit ever. So she's also understanding that some of these things being there are going to be profitable. Like the ghost existing is the only reason she lived.
Mm-hmm. Uma Crab.
I love too when she got to.
Yes.
I love when she got to Andy and she actually had to decide. Not yet. What a huge moment to show the level of strength she has as a person, that we go neutralization of Uma burn, reward location of negator undead. And she just stops and sits there in that moment and goes, not yet. Right, Andy? Oh.
It's so crazy how well this whole section comes together with one of the protagonists fucking missing.
Yes. One of the most important protagonists. It's called Undead Unluck.
Literally half the title is gone, and it's the best arc so far.
And it's incredible because their love is so important to her, whether she was willing to say it out loud and understand that she was in love with him before. Their love is so important that it isn't fragile. And she knows that that poor man just had to go since the beginning of time, that he told her, please just move on. I need to do what I do. You need to do what you do. And she's like, okay, I trust you. And then even though she had an opportunity to find him and meet him, she was like, it's not time. I've got to do the things that I said I would. So I have to put all my focus in this area. I cannot wait until oh my God, when do you think we're going to meet Andy again? Like, I can't wait, and it's giving me so much to look forward to.
I think the next arc, I think the next section we read, we're getting Andy back partway through.
Yeah, I'm thinking so too. I'm so hoping so, because I'm like, I'm
so excited for him to see how Fuuko's changed. I think he's going to say something about how she hasn't changed at all, and you're going to be mad, but it's going to be being like, yeah, this is who you always were. Now you just had time to embrace it.
No, if he means it as it was always inside of you, and now you understand how badass you were the way that I always knew you were badass, that's different than you haven't changed at all. You're just the same person you were despite all the growth you went through. That is a very different thing. I think that we just have a tendency that people don't understand.
Someone's pointing out Fuuko was mostly gone last section.
Fuuko was mostly what?
Was mostly gone last section because she was dead most of the time.
Oh yeah, that's true. And then she just came again at the end. And so it was mostly an Andy thing.
Oh, so we get to see each of them carry the series on their own. And Andy's is the end times, the dead, and hers is the luck times, the beginning and putting things together and fixing backstories.
I also like they're saying the neutralization of an Uma Autumn rather than the killing. That, thank you, Ozzy!
Is what they called killing already.
You know what? Ozzy's my new best friend. You heard me.
Oh,
Mama Sabotake is valid.
You are the one. You are, if Mama has one Sabotake defender, it's you. If she has 1,000, you're one of them.
Yes. The reason that I like this too is the first quest is the neutralization of Uma Autumn, that Fuuko understands we're not going to kill
I think they
the seasons.
had to kill it.
Hey.
I think neutralizes how they say kill in the quests.
I don't know, because don't you remember they put Autumn last time in a container?
No, they did kill Autumn. Yeah.
Which one did they put in the container then?
They put Autumn in the container last time because it was capture was the quest.
Capture.
This time Autumn dead.
Oh well. I guess we're gonna find out if we
can live without
I guess we're gonna speed off into the sun much quicker this time.
Yeah, I mean, like, the world can live without Autumn. It just means all leaves gone. They just evaporate. They don't fall. They gone.
No, that's just weird. You're a weirdo.
Leaves gone. Bye.
Why are you so obsessed with where Andy is? Calm the hell down. We'll get there in a minute.
That's not something predictable, most likely, right? Like, it's going to be used to introduce something new or cool, right? It feels like a place where prediction isn't helpful.
I honestly, for a while, hoped that Andy was on the moon.
That'd be kind of funny, but he's got to get in all the artifacts. Look, Prediction Master, there's still some stuff you can't predict. Like, no one in their right mind was predicting that Elbaf would start with Lego Castle. There's just some stuff that's not predictable.
That was amazing. I haven't got to read One Piece today, have you?
I did read One Piece. It's
You were trying to read this. If you had just not read One Piece, you could have finished it.
I read One Piece when the scanlations came out.
I'd allow that.
Yeah.
I haven't read it yet.
Yeah.
Look at Unavoidable. Oh, little wrinkled dude. Mr. Kenzo Yoksana, Satan-chan, age 98. It is decided we will go after Autumn first. I was so enamored with the fights here, but the thing that I was most enamored with is Fuuko in her speedrun is also helping people to learn who they are and how to beef their power. Mm-hmm. So when Fuuko says, Fuuko, you have an idea? I don't. I do have one idea in mind. I think Miss Gina can do it. And everyone was like, what? What are you trying to force her? She just joined. You've got it all wrong. But Miss Gina is a beast at her max potential. Right now, she's limited to making her surroundings unchangeable. But if Miss Gina learns how to handle unchanged, she'll be powerful enough to one-shot Autumn. And then telling her why she believes that and saying what it is that will strengthen her. I'm going to take a hit and turn into a book. And everyone's like, oh, shit, that's fairly serious. I was so thrilled the way that Fuuko puts herself at the center of harm's way all the time, but doesn't spare her friends. Tells them this is how you can bring yourself up and this is how you get stronger, but I'm not going to spare you. You need to build. Here's the method in which you can do that. I loved it because it's so, I have to say it, it's so Luffy.
Yeah.
That it's such a more direct mentorship in that she's actually telling them the things that can help them gain strength, and that she's not just saying, I know you've got this, you can do it. She's saying, here's a way in which you can do it, and this will help you grow, but you gotta bloody do it. So it's such a Luffy thing to say, like, I'm gonna put myself in harm's way too. I will be right there with you. But you've got to do it. And as I was reading, I'm like, oh, you would be BFF with Luffy. I want to cross over. That's all. I just want to cross over.
The issue is kind of hard to fit One Piece into the Undead Unluck world.
You what?
So it's kind of hard to fit One Piece into the Undead Unluck world. Hey, here's a question, right? We had a realization. Yeah. I had a realization today. Because you aren't a hashtag gamer.
That's not fair.
So don't know about...
Did you hear about my tiny sticker tail game?
I did. I heard that my wife beat it in like 4 hours.
I haven't even played it for 40 minutes yet. Well, no, I played it for 40 minutes. But your wife just bed run tiny sticker tail, she said.
So, here's where I'm at, right? I had a realization. Well, okay, Ozzy, we're getting there. I had a realization that goes with my postmodernist take. That is, so far it seems as though the artifacts are all named after either figures of mythology, stuff that like comes from a shared mythos, or are pieces of media. Because we have Life is Strange, that's a book, Soul Calibur, or sorry, Life is Strange is a video game, Soul Calibur video game, Blade Runner movie. It seems like everything is either from mythology or is a piece of media, which, yeah, it's from Journey to the West, the New Akinko. And my thinking there is that if this is meant to be a game, a tabletop RPG, or a manga, the reason for that is because these are the author's inspirations. And my questioning I came to is, exactly, Raven, since this dude has admitted that one of his biggest inspirations is One Piece, do you think we're gonna get an artifact One Piece at some point?
Oh my god. From your mouth to the artist's ears. Like, I hope so. I absolutely hope
not
so.
only the memory card, as far as like that's a video game item, not only memory card, but memory card was found on disc this time.
Yep, totally different.
No, but disc being like the thing you'd shove in a PS2, the
Yes.
number one selling console that used memory cards.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was a total change and a gaming change. Yeah, I think we might.
Mm-hmm.
I did a whole deep dive into your postmodernism thing.
Uh-huh.
So, because I wanted to narrow it down, you have to do a delete your art.
Oh, I don't even know what to do about that.
Take out his back leg.
You're dead.
Or the area in behind the
no,
fighting.
I'm just getting rid of the progress so far. I don't delete the full thing. We're just deleting all the inking so far. We're gonna start
and
over.
You have to give Bellamy a treat.
Oh, my wife let Bellamy out. I'll go wrangle him. I'll be back in a sec. Oh, he's here. Never mind. I thought he was out, but he was just hiding behind the desk. We're good. I'm gonna mute for a sec.
Okay, well, I don't see anything, and you're on mute. I think I'll take a nap. I think I'll take a nap. Where's Bellamy? I have the fuuko hat, Red Potato. I have the fuuko hat. I'm going to wear it to school tomorrow. Tomorrow? Drawk, we can't hear you or see him. Oh, there he is. That's a good boy. That's a good boy. Yeah. I am too, Icy Knives. I am loving Witch Hat. I'm super excited for Drawk to get to read Witch Hat. It is turning out so good.
We're going to go crazy with style on this one because I had to delete the line art so far.
I am going to be wearing the Good Luck hat tomorrow to school.
I hope there's some Undead Unluck fans in your school who have really good taste.
There totally will be. If you put something on in a school, you're going to run into somebody who knows what it is. Hopefully. Okay, so characteristics of postmodernism in media is skepticism of the grand narrative. So that's like, it questions... Can I go through it first so that everyone understands what it is? Because you know what it is. So I'm just telling other people.
Okay, sorry.
So
can I pitch how I want to do this though? Like as we go. I think you say a point, describe what it is, and then I say how I think this applies because I've been pushing for it.
You can. I've also made a list of how it applies, so I will add on if necessary. So we'll just go through it. So skepticism of the grand narrative is the first one. So that is like you are skeptical of the overall universal story, like the religion, the science, the process that claims to explain all aspects of life. And instead it values localized, diverse, or fragmented perspectives. So think about it in the way that science can't explain everything in a story, or magic can't be the thing that explains everything in the story, or religion, etc. That there's skepticism in any of the overarching things. Okay, go ahead, Drawk.
Okay. So that applies in basically all of the stories. The story about killing gods, their skepticism of God, but also the grand narrative of story itself. We see the undoing of backstories here. We see the replacement, the removal of tragedies, the removal of tropes. We see fights circumvented. The idea that everything needs to end with a climactic battle, where the fight is super cool and we're excited to see the bad guy lose, is circumvented. And in basically every way this plot is structured, it is meant to be taking apart the grand narratives it's supposed to be putting through.
Yeah. The second idea for postmodernism is it blurs boundaries, like distinctions between genres. You just said that. Disciplines, high versus low culture. It mixes styles and references and forms, allows for irony about itself. So blurring boundaries just means it doesn't feel that it needs to stay in a single genre, a single area. It doesn't need to be high or lowbrow. It can be anything they want. Okay, go ahead.
But I think beyond that, we have the biggest blurring boundary is obvious. This is being published in Shonen Jump. It is in theory shonen manga, but it's a romance story, which is supposed to be shoujo. And there's even a note in here kind of highlighting that, with Akira talking about growing up to be a shoujo writer, even though he reads shonen right now. So the idea of what fits in with the genre of shonen is challenged, especially with what I said before, where fights are seen as fights are not staged nearly the same way. They're not a climactic battle we work towards and see the bad guy beaten. They often are tragic resolutions.
And then you also see Andy is a protagonist with a morally blurring kind of line between villain. He starts off by forcing himself on Fuuko right away.
And
the lack of clear boundary. So there's a lack of there's a lack of boundary between good and evil.
Saying there are tons of shonen romance manga is an overstatement. There are a number, but I think more the thing is this is a battle shonen in theory that is a romance, which is a lot more.
And then it also blurs the lines between genres, action, comedy, romance, philosophical reflection, and all sort of other things. Okay, the next one.
Okay. I'm conflating. Hear me out. Far Zero, I don't want to get into this right now. Shonen the publication and shonen the genre are different. They are words that are used in a different way. When people describe something as a shonen, they are referring to the genre of battle manga. Saying something is a shonen publication and something is a shonen are entirely different. And but technically, no, there's no technically. Words are defined by how they're used. And when people say a shonen, they are not ever describing a manga that was publicated through Shonen Jump. Yes, I'm saying that's mostly a Western idea, but battle manga is not a Western idea, and when Western people say a shonen, they are referring to battle manga. And I just don't feel like it is worth arguing over distinctions.
Editor, take out all the arguments with people in the comments.
Yes, I just want to be clear about how I'm using words.
Deconstruction. So a central technique of postmodernism thought is that deconstruction involves breaking down all your ideas, texts, and concepts to show that they're not as stable or as authoritative as they seem. So it highlights the contradictions and tensions inside of your story. It is unafraid to break apart all the things that it built.
You disagree all you want, but I'm right. I think that one is entirely present. I think that this story tries to deconstruct the foundational elements of itself constantly. I mean, I think like the best example for it, honestly, it'd be harder to make these arguments, and I feel like I would be less, oh yeah, I'm definitely right, and more, hey, this is my reading before this arc. But like, think about how much we deconstruct the earliest parts of this story. Like, even killing Unavoidable is an act that's entirely deconstructed in this segment of story.
For me, the deconstruction is really hit around Fuuko in the first half, where we're calling her a hero, but she can totally deconstructs what a hero actually is.
Yes.
Like, she isn't running around fighting in the same way. She isn't the violent force of heroics who's running off and using aggression to save the day. she's just using the unluckiness around her and her friendship. Her friendship becomes the heroic weapon.
Mm-hmm. It's fantastic.
Also that the traditional assumptions about immorality and invincibility, and how absurd it is that Andy has endless regeneration.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, intertextuality. Postmodern works often refer to borrowed elements like text, genres, and historical moments. This creates layered meaning between all the highlights and interconnections between cultural. I mean, come the shit on.
Come the fuck
Basically,
on. Soul Calibur is the name of an item, like the entire thing, right?
every single thing in Undead Unluck is how many freaking things can we use from the real world that we take in? Everything from Western Ethan mythologies to superhero comics, songs, romance, manga, everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's almost ridiculous.
Like the manga characters in this series write a manga that uses critiques from the original draft of its own manga. Like someone writes this manga in the manga as well as like a predicted, like there's so many elements of bringing in the idea of other stories, and even we barely need to talk about this one, right?
Playfulness and irony. It embraces humor and parody and irony, mocking the seriousness of certain situations or cultural forms. It questions ideas that there's a correct way or a serious way to understand the world. Okay, again.
Yeah. I think this one is one of those points that's harder to argue because it feels very subjective, but I think the biggest examples of it come from Andy's behavior in the story a lot of the time.
Yeah, there's also multiple dimensions, and postmodernism loves to have an idea of embracing multiplicity for the idea that reality is not fixed. Like there is no linear reality. Reality as you know it could be many things. And then it feels like it uses the rules of RPG to create a fragmented non-linear narrative. And I think for me, it's both those things. And finally, fragmentation.
Oh.
Both in thought and artistic works, postmodernism embraces fragmentation and multiplicity, stories, perspectives, and identities that are presented as incomplete, shifting, or contradictory. The idea that a story can have things that actually contradict itself midway or will shift into a completely different direction, unthought of, or will allow an idea to be incomplete.
Yeah, the spring arc is entirely the idea of a contradiction where an Uma, it needs to be loved and mourned and cried over in its defeat. Or the fact that the killing of the seasons causes the punishment to begin with.
100%. Yeah, I think there's no actual question. It is just a postmodern manga. Like we've thought it out, we looked at it, it's agreed. Undead Unluck is a postmodern manga.
Now, while chat might disagree
Congratulations,
with me
Undead Unluck.
Shonen, I don't think chat will disagree with us on it's postmodern, right? We're all here together, chat? We all got this? I think we
are postmodernists in the manga world. I will agree that the reason I chose this particular piece for you to draw is I thought that the story of Void, I agree. I think it was one of the most beautiful things ever. I think it couldn't have been built or done in a way that was as beautiful as it was.
We both loved all of this section.
Unless it had been built on what she did with Nico. But I also think that it was a great way of reminding somebody so big and so powerful that they needed to be more than so big and so powerful. And they were going to have to bring their full self into it, because I think that by the time we get Void, the new Void, and Void joins our group, he is a different, incredible person who actually adds like a whole different level of talent. This isn't somebody who could become an alcoholic.
No, this dude has purpose. He has been shown that the world is his ring and that he is a monster fighting monsters. That's fucking great. I briefly, I want to acknowledge a thing chat said where they wondered if you could consider a series like One Piece postmodern. For me, One Piece is a series that has enough postmodern elements that you could easily do a discussion, like a full video where you're like, is One Piece postmodern? And there's enough to it that you'd have a point. And if someone said they thought it was postmodern, I'd be like, yeah, I can see it, especially the way it challenges genre conventions and is starting to bring in comic books. If we're right about Dimension Piece possibly having the Ancient Kingdom being inside a book, absolutely becomes more postmodern. This series just is postmodern. Like, it's not just there's a cool argument about it. It just, like, super is.
Yeah, I don't know if I would call One Piece postmodern right now. Isn't that weird? Because it's so much longer.
It has a lot. It has postmodern elements to it. It challenges genre conventions for
There's
sure.
A shit ton.
Yeah. But, like, and it has irony. It plays with irony and parody without having to undermine
blurs
plot
moral boundaries.
Comedy. Yeah, blurs
it
moral
brings
boundaries.
in intertextuality.
Yeah, but it still feels like it does that in more of the way of late modern works.
Yeah. You know what? We should do a video of is One Piece postmodern.
Honestly, that could be fun. It's one of those things where it's like when you go through the diagnostics, it feels like it should be, but also like vibes based, it doesn't feel like it should be.
Okay, this is the reason I was going to say it. Like when I start to go through the things, I'm like, okay, it is, but it's not.
Yeah.
Which is stupid. Because academically, it just kind of is.
Well, someone is saying, like, with how much it shaped cultural landscape, can it really be counted as postmodern? I think absolutely. I don't think your genre nature of a work is morphed by its interpretation and audience. Like, I do agree that something...
it does, right? Like, it starts to take over. The way people see things takes over what it is.
I do fundamentally agree that the audience participation is a necessary component in the finishing of a work, but I don't feel like it makes something not postmodern just to have other things reflect it and be influenced by it.
Yeah, though I don't. Hey, this line work is better.
Yeah, it's the last one was gonna look neat when it was done, but this is gonna be a weird one because we're doing something interesting. I'll show you what the goal is gonna be, which is these big blocky shadows to emphasize the power of the spotlight.
Yeah, no, I like it even more than I liked last time. Like, I think it's quite beautiful.
It's gonna be a weird one. I haven't really done something like this on stream before. We'll see how it goes.
More reason to do it this way. Yeah. Huh. Yeah, because I feel like the audience participation in One Piece is kind of changing what it is. Not you, Ruin.
So do we need to do a is One Piece postmodern stream? Because that sounds kind of fun.
Except for we have to make sure it's not just all academic-y and that we take it to the right level, because it will bore people through their tears.
Anyways, this series is postmodern as fuck though. Like, it just doesn't even feel this is worth like the 5 minutes we gave it.
We had that one Aussie that when we did delete your art, there was one that Drawk got rid of that ended up being so good after the delete. I was trying to remember which one that was.
He's asking if there's anyone where it hasn't turned out better, like where it wasn't an upgrade.
Oh.
It's kind of
I don't know about... You know the one I wonder about?
Because the original versions never get rendered. I feel like... Yeah, I don't know. I feel like...
I do wonder about one. I used to wonder about the Wano going up with the goldfish. The original was such a good angle, but I do think you found a great angle in the end. We are numerous Drawk Mama book clubs. We nerds. Okay, Humble, that's fair.
Don't worry. We're gonna do an is One Piece postmodern, it turns out. Like, after just talking about it for a little bit, I feel like it's a fun enough discussion to do. It is weird.
But then what do you say to the people? But the vibe check does not match.
Hear me out, right? Genuinely, it becomes a philosophical debate. This is such an aside. But like I said earlier, with how I feel like when you describe something as a shonen and something as shonen published, that is different. Because, and if you disagree, honestly, it comes down to your philosophy of language. If you are a technicalist, fucking move to France. Move to goddamn France, where the government enforces the meaning of words and tries their best to stop changing culture from influencing their meanings. I am a use case purist. My philosophy on language is the use case of a word is its definition, and there is no institution or power. There is no God in heaven who can declare the use and meaning of a word more so than cultural usage of the word. If you disagree with me philosophically, move to France. I'm not
just
saying.
I love you never know what you're going to get here. Today we have Drawk telling people to move to France. Yeah. How do you pronounce
the use case is different
that?
in Japan though, but I'm speaking English. I'm not speaking Japanese. So I'm speaking with English words.
Quit arguing with the people in the
what I was
chat
going to say
so much.
is,
and take a look at Ogiad's name and tell me how to pronounce it.
I have no fucking idea.
Ogid.
Well,
or
here's why I think the
Ogid,
vibes
tell me how
don't
to say your name.
Here's why I think the vibes don't match need to be addressed in the One Piece video. It's entirely simple. You cannot make a definition of sandwich that does include a meatball sub that does not also include a hot dog, which doesn't cause other problems and disqualify other sandwiches. It is not a thing anyone is up to. I have never seen a definition of hot dog that includes meatball sub, discludes hot dog, and doesn't cause more problems. And yet,
I would agree. That's a good vibe check.
Yeah, and yet if I ask for a hot sandwich and you give me a hot dog, I'm right to be pissed off because we don't consider it a sandwich.
I would say that you have correctly identified the hot dog. Oh, hot dog is taco. Thank you, Sam. That's excellent. The hot dog as sandwich vibe check with the One Piece as postmodernism.
Yeah, like by every definition, a hot dog is a sandwich, and yet if I ask for a sandwich and you give me a hot dog, you're wrong.
I do enjoy Sam Fisher's "A hot dog is a taco."
I mean, it's not. It isn't at all. There's no world where it is. And you know how I know that? Because if I order a taco and they give me a hot dog, I'm pissed off. If I ask for a beef taco...
for doing it just by description, it's just a flatter bread.
Well, no, but that's what I'm saying. Yep. By definition, it would be if you tried to be technical about what a taco is. And
100%.
yet, if I go to the store and order a beef taco and they give me a hot dog made of 100% beef,
which is why Sam Fisher has rightly also called out another vibe check. Yeah. It's the same way that a tomato is a fruit, but you don't put it in fruit salad. It's a vibe check.
Yeah. So I think this will be an I honestly think is One Piece Postmodern will be a really funny, good conversation
and
for
then,
nerds and no
and
one
then
else.
The end can be it's a vibe check. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Vibe does not check. Check. Vibe. Mm-hmm. Fail.
Yeah, I prefer when I ate meat. I preferred beef tacos beef hot dogs, which is why it felt like a good comparison to me.
I have always preferred veggie dogs, even since before I was a meat eater.
I feel the same way. If I go back to eating meat, I will still be eating veggie dogs. Thanks for subbing, Aussie Lelowin. It was Lelowin, right? Or was it
Lelowin?
Anyways, how do you guys say Sean the goat? Sean's okay.
Okay. You know what? I didn't stunningly love the fight in the jungle when we got Disc and stuff, but I sure did love getting to see Mr. Billy.
I liked the fight in the jungle. It felt a bit more messy in how it was staged than a lot of what we got in this section.
I think that in comparison to the other ones, if I'd seen this area in the first part of the manga, I would have been like, oh my god, that was so good. Yeah. But we had just done some pretty spectacular things.
Things are different.
Yeah, and it came on the back of our fight with Void, and that's hard. That's a hard backup against you. Like, what are you going to do when you come off of Void? Yeah, and I would agree, King, you're not wrong. War is messy. I just felt like it wasn't the same caliber.
Yeah, I'm not even talking, but I'm not talking messy like, things happen. And no, it just felt like there was less of a clear sense of who was where doing what than a lot of what I think this manga is capable of.
It felt like One Piece in the beginning with the fighting where I'd be like, what's taking place here?
Yeah, it was just a little sloppier. Dude,
Yeah.
people want us to address Sean the goat because everyone apparently likes him, and again, Sean's fine. That's my take. That's my Sean take.
We're not there yet,
No,
anyways.
Sean is before the war.
What?
Yeah, he was there.
Was he?
Yes. Okay, so here's our Sean take. She forgot he was there.
You know what? You know what, guys? Tell me why to like Sean. That's on you now.
He's just like kind of a shit. I don't know, guys.
Are you talking about dude who closes his eyes and runs around, Sean? I don't know. Make me like him. He's fine.
I will say
Because-
the thing Sean most contributed to in this for me, the thing that he contributed to a lot was that I hate when people sneak aboard rocket ships in media because it's like, you know,
it's so stupid.
You know that when that boy band singer was gonna go on a Russian rocket, they had to replace him with a bucket weighted to be his exact weight for it to work because of how fine the math was. So I'm always like, it's so dumb. You would wreck everything. So the fact that Gina had to train him to use his powers so he could become weightless is actually really great. I really, really like what that added because it took seriously the limitations of why they couldn't have brought more people on was solved. It let them bring more people on without causing problems and without wrecking the story. Great job. I actually really like that. Anyway,
I gotta tell you though, yeah, I found him in the space story and the going to space and them. Like I was glad. Don't get me wrong. I'm super glad we got the little boy in space because I'm super glad. I'm super glad that we reattached the idea of in this story that personality, strengths, and everything live in the soul.
Yeah,
and that. I do wonder, though, if they are saying the soul is in the brain.
I mean, the soul isn't in the brain if you get it pulled out by Soul Calibur.
Because Andy claims the soul is, remember, Andy made it so that the soul is nowhere.
Well,
it's everywhere.
I think the soul is where, if you're alive, the soul is with you. So I think he just still has a soul because he's still alive.
So I think it just moved to the brain. And I love Phil, and I love the idea that
I gotta be real, this is definitely the part that I cared least about in this section. I still really liked it. If it was earlier in the manga, I'd like it a lot more, but again, our standards are up, and this is, of the parts we read, this is the part I felt the least about.
Yeah, I love space stories, so I was into it just for the space. But that's just them tickling an area of my life that I happen to really like. But I thought it was interesting that we had a alien that was based off targeting emotions, but it also felt
weird
convenient.
and interesting.
No, it felt convenient.
Yeah, that sort of is the problem, isn't it? Is that like,
yeah,
it felt like that was there just to make a point, and that's, you know,
that's exactly what I'm trying to say. So then I was like, if it's going to be that convenient, then I want it to be a trick of God. Because by making it a trick of God, then you can describe why it isn't just accidental this thing goes. And so that's why I was kind of like, no offense to this section, but it feels too convenient.
Yeah.
So point out that it came from God or something.
Well, I guess the way it's done is by having your feelings removed just as you proof you can feel is a way it could be a trick of God.
Yeah. Or that the creature, the Uma creature alien thing, or the alien creature should have been created intentionally. To go after emotions in an ironic, mean twist with Phil.
Yeah, to prove he has emotions just as they're taken away. That's sort of what it could be.
Yeah, and then it wouldn't just feel convenient, it would feel baked in, and I would like that.
I guess where we're supposed to be at with the story is we assume that that's the case, that if something is convenient, we're supposed to assume that it's them.
The other good part about this was watching Unchange grab Phil and be willing to take her life so to the extreme.
Yeah.
That was beautiful. And that she said she wants to be her second and da-da-da-da-da. All of that was great. And I was here for it. I give it a clap. But I would say the war was good. The space was probably a little above the war for me, though.
I liked the war better than the space because I liked how things were handled with Billy at the end. I liked the little shoot off. I don't know. There was enough to it that I liked more than the space part for my money. But I think it's perfectly fair. They together are the section that felt the least impactful for me.
I love the way we're doing Billy's negator powers now.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that they were reframed. I guess if they're unlocked by a different feeling, they can change how they work slightly.
Yeah. Well, not just you guess, they just can.
Yeah, like that's just a rule that was just introduced though.
Okay, let me just look this up. I want to find the page.
I know this technically has a tournament, but guys, I don't feel like we can call this a tournament arc. It just doesn't have tournament arc energy. You know how like definitionally a hot dog is a lot like a sandwich. It doesn't pass the tournament arc vibe check, guys.
No, this one is more explainable. Fuuko fights and wins and goes to the top. Like, come on, that's not a tournament.
Yeah.
It's just not.
I don't know, it goes to the interpretation thing. Look, guys, this doesn't feel like a tournament. I love a good tournament arc. Bring me your tune-in exams. This ain't them, Chief.
Okay, so have we figured out that Billy's now has expanded controls and can layer his powers now?
Well, he could always use multiple at once.
No, but he's no longer limited by how many negations he can use at once.
I thought he could always use a bunch of them at a...
He can use a bunch, but he was limited.
I thought he was only limited by how many people thought of him as an enemy.
No.
He used multiple last time, yeah, like unstoppable and it. See, people are agreeing with me. Someone subscribe. King me, subscribe.
King me. It's a good thing for King me.
Oh, he could have a max of 6? Okay. Well, is he still
yeah,
a max of
I
6,
know.
though?
He could only have a max. Now he has unlimited.
I
just looked it up. Then I went online and asked because I was like, was I wrong about this?
Okay.
And I used to be wrong. And now I'm right. He could only use 6 before, and now it says he's limited. Look it up, humans.
All right. Well, I missed that bit somehow. Damn, you paid attention. You win.
I'm going to ask ChatGPT now because I've asked everything else. He could use at a time before last loop. Let's see what it says. It doesn't know what I'm talking, but it's like, could you be more specific? I'm like, right, in Undead Unluck. Sorry.
Who's Billy?
It's like, who's Billy? And what are you talking about?
Girl, I ain't know him.
He did have limits on how many abilities he could use at a time, and now he doesn't.
So people are saying that that's an assumption Andy had that was never confirmed, but the fan base considered true.
It said, before Billy's final loop in Undead Unluck, he did have limits on how many abilities he could use at a time. Billy's ability Unchange allowed him to copy the abilities of others, but he couldn't use his unlimited number of abilities simultaneously. His body had restrictions on how many he could use effectively to control and utilize at once. Okay. As a balancing multiple abilities takes a toll on the user. However, during this loop, this limitation has shifted due to his understanding and mastery of the power evolving, specifically circumstances, and now he is able to use as many as he wants unlimitedly.
All right. I'll give it to you. You win.
Yeah, but Lulu, I know everyone likes to talk about how wrong ChatGPT is all the time. I looked it up online first, and then I looked it up on ChatGPT, plus ChatGPT is not wrong about everything. It's also how the users put it in. Although, did you hear about the whole thing with Strawberry and asking how many R's it has? I made mine go through a whole loop because of that, because it answers it wrong, which was fascinating to me.
There's just a lot of things that it feels like it should be able to do that can't for some reason.
Yeah. Yeah, but Lily, I looked it up in lots of places, and all of them
Anyways,
said prior to this
apparently
stream.
everything agrees, and Mama's right. And
This is what you sound like every time you argue with chat.
Yeah, I know. Where? I'm on your side. Don't worry.
Every time you argue with chat, you sound this way.
I like to argue with chat.
No. So I looked it up because I said to myself, I felt like there was something in here before. Did we talk about it? Oh, whoa!
Odd
thank you.
User says,
thank you, Odd User.
Can ChatGPT help you
user.
understand why Sean is the GOAT?
Oh Jesus! You couldn't even help me.
Yeah, Sean.
Help me.
Sean, can someone look, guys? This might be another situation where you have future knowledge, like with Unavoidable, where you know why they're cool. Guys, at this point, he's just kind of a shit.
Yeah, like, am I missing something? He's fine. But you know what he reminds me of? Oh, you guys are going to love this. Okay, here we go. No, they could use more than one before, KP. He could. He could use many. Billy could use many. But he had a limit to how many he could use. Now it's unlimited.
Unlimited power. All right, guys. We got to keep moving.
Okay. Listen to this. I don't want to say this, but I have no choice. Sean is forcing my hand here.
Yeah?
You know those people that when you break up with them just won't take no for a reason? And they're going to tell you all the reasons you were wrong to break up with them and how great they are?
Yeah.
That's Sean. That's who Sean is.
Yeah, I mean, like, he doesn't do that really, but it is just the energy he provides.
You can tell from his energy with how important he needs to feel and how he runs around being like, if people aren't paying attention to me, then I won't be important enough. And I need to be the main character all the time. And don't people understand? And no, I can't give you this space and time because if I do, I'll be less. Like, exact opposite of Fuuko. Exact opposite.
Like, it do come across that way.
If you were to break up with him, he would be like, don't you understand who I am? How are you trying to pull down my entire sense of self? I'm Sean.
My entire thing is, I'm Sean.
I'm telling you, don't date him, guys. Don't date him. Big middle child energy? Oh my God, you have just hurt every middle child known.
Okay, I need you to judge something very important, okay? Because there are two problematic men that chat seems to be in love with, and I need you to tell them which one is more dateable, Fang or Sean?
Sean.
There we go. Chat, you've heard it here first.
But only marginally.
All of chat's like, Sean.
Well, Fang is strong. I did forget that, Ray. Oh, it's true.
I do. What were we, what were we doing recently that I brought up this bit of, did you think about he's strong? I can't remember. Like, there was a non-Undead Unluck thing where I brought it up. Whatever.
Anyways, if I was going to date anyone in this manga, it would be Fuuko.
I mean, yeah, no, of course, yeah. 100%.
Fuuko is prime.
The only issue is that she kills you.
Ugh. That is an issue.
There's one problem with dating Fuuko, which is that if you ever have any physical contact, you die.
That's a minor issue. That might hurt your chances of strong relationship.
Just personality, Fuuko.
Yes, okay. But like in actuality, I'd probably date, oh my God, who would you date in here? Who would you date in here?
If we're just talking about personality?
No, because we all know it's Fuuko.
Yeah,
but if we're talking like for real, we have to
qualify powers are part of it, so not Fuuko, because like that's some issues. That's some real issues. Because
you can't date somebody who, if you kiss them, you die.
I'm gonna say no to Gina.
Yeah.
Ishin's kind of up there. Maybe Juice.
Juice, I could see that. We haven't met Juice yet either.
No,
Juice is a good one. I forgot that. Okay, no, I'm taking that away from you. Only people we've seen so far.
Okay, in this loop? Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Well, then I'm going to take back Ishin because that's a baby. That was a contender I had because last time we saw her, she was a grown woman. Now she's a baby.
Yeah, no, don't date babies. It's gross.
We're going to not date the literal baby. Oh, man. Mewy. Mew.
Mew?
Mewy.
Isn't it
I
just
can't say her name. That's a huge problem. Not being able to say her name is a huge problem. Oh, you know who actually is Ichiko?
Yeah, that's who I was gonna pick.
It's Ichiko for sure.
I'd marry Ichiko.
Yeah, even though she's apparently unmarriable.
No, I'd marry Ichiko.
According to her husband.
Well, her husband's an idiot.
Roxanne subscribing, paying his wife, paying his wife.
I just admire Roxanne sticking with her full Fang love. I might marry what's his face, who I didn't like before. Muse person.
Monkey Man.
Monkey Man. Didn't I say I basically hated him last arc?
Not last arc, but you were kind of mid on him.
I thought he was really mid. And I said like, Shen is, he was high on himself. He wasn't like giving enough attention to Mew or understanding how great she was. But like, I could marry Shen.
I'll say this arc made Feng and Shen both more likable as characters, although Feng still kind of sucks.
Yeah. Y'all should see the 3 fucking Fen collages I made for the countdown for contacts. God, Roxanne, that's hilarious. You weren't wrong though, picking Juice. Juiz.
If we get both timelines, Juice is a very good choice.
She's a kick ass. Like
she's a nice lady and she's tough and she's cool and competent. Not like Fuuko levels of competent, but we can't all be perfect.
Fuuko is just we can't have Fuuko. You made a really good point about death.
I'd rather someone who I can touch without being dead.
You'd be like, hey, good night, lean over, kiss. Oh shit.
Oh fuck, I'm dead now.
On you.
Oh fuck, I'm dead now.
You wake up in the morning and say, hey sweetie, lean against them. Oh crap, run!
Dead, run away or you're gonna die too. Bye.
Yeah, no, we can't date Fuuko. We definitely can't marry Fuuko. Fuuko's out. Sorry, Fuuko. You know we both want to. You're great. We'd love you to be there, but death.
How do you feel like Fang got substantially improved? Someone's like, Fang went from downright despicable to I can fix him.
Okay, I agree.
Backstory was
I agree, and it's vibes. Because I even thought
all that's been changed is we found out his backstory was he only fought for self-defense until he beat the shit out of someone and realized he could beat people up harder.
And can I just take this here for a minute? When we were doing the thing and he was like, you made me change their diapers and feed her, and then there was that part where we saw him in bed and the baby was in the little side bed thing and the little boy Shen was grabbing Fang's arm. And I realized that inside of him, it became in the moment where the older people that he had fought before said, no, we've left it now to the future. And then Fang, he says, and then Shen says, you should leave it to us, Father, that I realized that Fang in this round knows that he is a father. He sees it differently because of the way that Fuuko engaged him with, I need you to take care of these kids. This kid, and it needs to be yours. And then the other one said, no, I'll kill myself behind your back if you don't take her. And so something in him switched because of the way that Fuuko engaged how he would take care of Shen and his sister. And so when he calls him father, I was like, oh no, everyone's there. It's a little bit of vibes, but it's a little bit of evidence. And he became literally, I saw that if you were the type of person who went for toxic people that you could fix, that now people would be like, no, he's hot, I could fix him.
All right. All right, I'll let you people have this, but also, you don't understand. I beat people up so good, and then, and then you don't understand.
He understands that he's a father in there. Part of him understands now. He really does. I'm telling you.
All right,
I'm telling
all
you, he
right.
does. He's now become. And where do you get off talking? The squishies know your issue with toxic women.
I'm
Who is it
aware.
that you have the hots for?
We got a list. We got
Give me two. Give me two.
Edelgard from Fire Emblem Three Houses is great.
Give
You
me
mean in
just
this
two
series?
from One Piece that I would
Two
be
from
like,
One Piece.
no.
Two hot women from One Piece. Let's think. No. Problem is, so many One Piece women, like One Piece women, the issue is are drawn in such a way that they don't look like humans, and it makes it difficult to like a
You
lot of
literally,
them.
you literally said that there was somebody in One Piece
Okay,
we were
York is one
watching
of
that
them
was,
because of cute freckles. Yes.
yeah, and you were like, she has cute freckles, and I was like, what?
Okay,
She
so the two
evil.
characters I
It's
think are
York.
hottest, and we
Thank
do
you,
have an
Lucy.
issue. We have York, and we also have Charlotte Smoothie, so there is a problem.
Exactly. You can't say that you like York and Charlotte Smoothie and not understand people loving Fang.
Guys, have you
Like,
thought about
there's
that
just,
York has cute freckles? I don't.
oh my god, Lilith. Are you
I
into
also like
Lilith?
Lilith. Yeah, she's up there for sure.
See, no, you do not get to talk about Fang. Fang's hot. Okay, you know what? I'm on the Fang's hot train now.
Look, I'm aware that I'm not in the right to have an opinion.
Fang is
I
hot.
know
Choo
this.
choo. We're here. We're here.
It
Oh
sure
my
is so
god.
hard to be a woman in this manga because despite how well written you are, you don't get to be seen as hot because you have to stand next to Fuuko.
Oh my god. That's not true. Gina is great. Mew is great. They're
They're
all
great
hot.
characters, but it's so hard to look hot next to Fuuko. She just like the bar too
I'm
high.
not gonna lie. Mew is so much hotter in this loop.
Yeah, but also she's like a fucking prodigal martial artist super monster in this arc.
Yeah, but you could touch her and not die.
That is a huge advantage she has over Fuuko. I'm sorry, Fuuko.
And I don't know.
That's an issue.
I don't know if you know this. That's a pretty big. That's a pretty big advantage. She looks so good with muscles. She makes me want to lift weights.
No, okay.
No, for real. She's got that kind of a muscly look that makes you be like, yeah, I want to look like that.
Honestly, there is nothing that makes me lift weights more than real life man Iffy Wataway.
Real life man whom?
Iffy Wataway. There's a lot of dudes who are jacked in a really unattractive way, like they're just like really veiny and saran wrap looking. There's no gigantic man I think is as hot as Iffy Wataway. That fucking guy, I lift more every time I watch content that has Iffy Wataway in it.
Okay, well maybe I need to do that. All right, I think we should read
We should talk about this book.
I think we should read 168 because I might have read 4 pages of it already.
Well, I shouldn't we do our top and then we do it at the end?
No. Hear me out.
Search Iffy, IFY, and he's the only famous Iffy. There's no other famous Iffy.
Hear me out.
No. Iffy's bulky as hell. Lean muscles usually
Quit
look better. Iffy pulls off bulk.
talking to chat and talk to me about this.
Yeah, okay.
Hear me out.
You out.
What if this chapter shows us somebody who's... Are you listening to me?
Okay, sure.
What if this chapter shows us somebody whose drip is just off the charts and we would never have picked them?
But they wouldn't be considered because they're not part of the reading. That's how book club works. No. Remember we refused to pick Unruin when he was introduced because it wasn't part of the reading.
Ah, fuck, that's true. All right, let's do the things first and then we read it. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Number 1. Oh, first of all, let's give Fuuko a grade. That grade is S++.
Wait, people want us to talk about Untel because we skipped him, and he's fine. He's okay. There we go. We've talked about Untel.
Oh god, guys, if we didn't mention them, were they even worth mentioning?
That's the thing. There's very rarely do we not mention a character and we loved them and felt like they had a huge impact on the story.
That's like that's so rude, and yet kinda.
Like, usually if we fully skip someone, and granted, how often do those characters come back in a later arc and we love them?
Sometimes a lot.
Yeah, it does happen. It's just
somebody
like,
said Untel got bunnied.
Untel got bunnied for sure. Hey, but we don't do a least favorite character anymore because it's against the spirit of the series.
Can I just say something about Untel? I think that the author wrote Untel specifically this way so that you don't really remember them much. I mean, for God's sakes, people forget Untel's words and any information he tells them. Like, he is a person who you hear stuff and he erases your memory from your mind. All that's happened to Drawk and I is he was erased from our minds.
Yeah. Oh, we didn't talk about Creed, and in this section, Creed was fine, and his backstory was pretty sad.
Yeah, oh my god! Did we not talk about Creed?
No, I liked Creed in this section fine. I thought he was okay.
Huh. He's strong. He's a good sense of justice.
I like it. It's tragic that he was ordered to stay until he ran out of ammo, and then he couldn't run out of ammo.
Yeah, that was a little bit sad. I also really loved Creed in space. I thought Creed popped off a little bit there and was
Creed
like
did good in space. He was one of the better parts.
Yeah, and I think that in space, I think Creed was my favorite part.
Honestly, yeah. You know who he was?
Oh, you know when else I really liked Creed? I really liked Creed when he told Fuuko that I think that you're not taking into consideration the type of leader you are because you're putting me in as the first leader, but here's my evidence that you're the right leader. And I thought that
really loved that.
I thought that was very perceptive, and so I enjoyed that. I think we're gonna love. I said as I was reading the 2 places that I really liked him in this one, I think that he's going to become a character that I'm going to grow to love.
You know who I liked him a lot better than in space?
Who?
John.
Is it because you tried to break up with Sean and he got clingy?
I keep like baiting the person who keeps saying that this
your
is giving him depression.
Your dad looked at me when I said that in a very weird way. What are you looking at me like that for?
John in space.
We're personalizing the characters.
Yeah. I actually really like Creed. I think it's sad that we didn't cover him because this was a case where
I am too. The more I think about Creed, the more I like him.
Yeah. I liked him in the first loop too. There's one terrible thing about Creed's character.
What is it?
His power is called Undecrease instead of Unlimited.
Oh, I hate it.
What the fuck is Undecrease?
And can I just say there was no need for that shit. It was written in Japanese. You could have made it anything. You made it Undecrease. You should be ashamed of yourself. Go into the corner.
Honestly?
I think it's a Blair Witch for you. It's written in English? Okay, well you chose badly that one part.
Actually, yeah, you should have known better. Like unlimited, unending. There's so many things you could make his power to do what it does, and you chose Undecrease?
Yeah, no, I'm 0% a fan of Undecrease. I do like the dude. I do feel like the dude is basically Croc.
He looks like Guile from Street Fighter.
He looks like Smoker and Croc had a baby.
You only think that because you don't know what Guile from Street Fighter looks like.
Well, yeah, but that's okay. I have to use my own things then, don't I?
But I'm gonna send you what Guile from Street Fighter.
What if I don't read it and then I never know?
But it's not a manga. It's a video game.
What if I don't look?
Okay, then I guess you won't know. But like, I'm sending you a picture of Guile, so it's your choice.
All right, I'll look. He does, except for ew, Guile's hair. Ew.
I mean, that's what Creed's fucking hair looks like.
Boo, Guile from Street Fighter. Your hair's stupid. Sorry about that, Guile from Street Fighter. That was uncalled for. That's my
She said
special
on
thing.
everybody.
That's my special thing. Uncalled.
My power is uncalled for. Everything I say is perceived as the greatest insult possible.
Who's that dude we couldn't remember the name of again?
Probably not Sean.
No, not him. The guy who says things and makes you forget about him. Everybody was like, what about this guy? We were like, Ella. He should have been uncalled for.
Okay.
Yeah, he just can't talk. I don't know. Is that a power?
And then he stops things from going through his body because, I guess that would... I don't know how it actually works with Tell. I don't know how that one lines up at all, but I guess it does. Yeah.
I thought that his power caused people who heard his words to forget things that he said.
No. He just can't communicate at all. So he can't talk. He can't do
I thought that anything spoken by Untell...
No. It is just that he can't communicate. Because even when he tried to hit the little Morse code button thing, his finger wouldn't move.
All right. Well, can I tell you something about that? That's a stupid power.
I mean, yeah, it's bad. It's one of the bad ones. But then
No,
it somehow
so
also
dumb.
stops things from going through his body. And I don't know how.
It is now my least favorite power. I know the squishies can't tell this about me, but I like to talk.
Oh, apparently he can block things because of a Japanese pun. That makes sense.
Like, I feel bad for him, but I don't feel like I care about him much.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Like, he's no Billy or Creed.
I wonder if he's going to become more interesting, because people here seem a little sad for him.
You know what advantage he has, though?
He never has to worry what he said at a party the next day?
Well, that, but also, I was thinking about this. He's not facing the Sean problem right now, because there's kind of little enough there that we haven't come up with a mean bit about it.
If you break up with him, he's not going to say anything.
That's kind of where I'm thinking, right? He's not Sean.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. Good for you, Untel.
You're being really rude to him. That he's not Sean. Odd D user did see where I was going. You did see where I was going with that. You did foresee my attack.
Uncalled for would be funny. I'm here for it.
Uncalled for is the worst power, but at least you could know what someone's insecurity is, because like you could have them say hello and then everyone else is listening and hears what he's the response and is like, well, now we know what his weakness is.
And you could find their weakness.
How did Billy become a blind mercenary leader before he had superpowers? I do think, but it's worth wondering.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I found that hard to get behind.
Did people know he was blind when they hired him as I mean, yeah, anime logic, yeah, but like, I feel like you'd have some real problems mercenarying as a blind man, is my assumption. Now, if there are blind gunmen out there who want to correct me, I'm here for it. He's just really good at gun is true.
Did you say blind men? You meant blind people. Say blind people.
Oh, I said blind gunmen. I didn't say blind men.
Whatever.
Gun
Budget
people
cuts
is
still my favorite answer.
I could say like blind sharpshooters, I guess, if there's blind snipers out there.
Blind snipers might be the one.
Yeah, but I guess it's not snipers. It would be sharpshooters, because like a blind sniper is much worse because you're only firing through a scope.
Haberfax is going on my favorite people list.
Haberfax is great. All right, should we move on now? Now that we've addressed Tella and
Do you know
Reed?
where Odd User's picture comes from? Odd User's little mini picture in Discord.
Nope.
Odd User, I need to know. It's making me crazy. Gun human.
Wait.
Blind gun human. Yes. Yes. Is it Joker? I need to wear my glasses more often.
You're probably fine. Who needs to see?
That's currently just about the Joker getting movie. Okay. All right. Are you ready?
I was born ready.
Fuuko S++.
S plus. I was thinking the same thing. There's a new tier.
Were you really?
Never. I was thinking the exact same thing. I was gonna say we need new heights. This is, yeah.
Oh my god! I'm so glad we're on the same page because I was like,
page.
this is a
beyond
different
anything.
level.
This is the bar has been raised. From now on.
Yeah.
From this I think might be the only S plus plus she ever gets. Hear me out on why.
Okay.
The standards from here on out are raised. From here on out, I think this is what an S plus looks like.
Yep, I would agree. But
so I think she only gets another S plus plus if she raises the standards again.
Yep, I agree. But in the meantime, this is S++. This was like beyond anything I could have hoped for.
This was incredible. This was unbelievable. This was unprecedented.
Unmatched. Unattained. Okay. I'm gonna give Undead a B.
What's the grade for you didn't show up to class?
He gets a B. He made the sign.
You know what? He made a sign.
And then it was a really touching sign.
And that's important.
Yes. And it made Andy made Fuuko know how much faith he had in her before he left to do his shit. And I mean, I can't give that a C because it was something important that had to be done.
I will agree with you on a B.
I mean, I would agree with He's a Killer that it was literally the easiest B ever earned in the history of Bs.
Yes, this was a very easy B. He did all his homework to get the passing grade. That's a good point.
Yeah. He came and he's like, tiny stone message. Done. Yeah. Okay. Now let's put the people in order.
Okay.
Or do you want to start with our favorite like minor character?
Let's do favorite minor character first. Ooh, interesting. We got a lot of choices for favorite minor character. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of background people in this one. I'm gonna pick a character.
I will tell you, Feng is not a minor character.
I'm gonna pick a minor character. They're incredibly minor, very insignificant to the plot. My favorite minor character is Sean. Did you die?
Funny as shit.
Discord couldn't pick up your laugh, so you were just gone for like 30 seconds.
You don't understand. I was laughing so hard. I was grounded. I fell off my chair. Oh, Jesus, God.
Okay, that was the best ending to a joke.
God. Oh, my God.
I was going to take it back, but it got so much laughter that I'm sticking to it.
Oh. I cried so hard. Oh, Jesus.
Oh my God, I remember it was the One Piece movie. It was Douglas Bullet. I made a Fang joke and said, did you think about that he's strong?
Oh, that's right. You did. That was awesome.
Oh.
Oh my god, yeah, we need to change that 99 to Fomkel. Fell off my chair
Fomkel.
laughing because that's what happened. I laughed so hard. Did you guys really not hear? I'm so glad.
Nothing was heard.
I laughed so inappropriately hard and made sounds I've rarely made. It was hilarious. I almost wish you could have heard them though, because it was worth it. That was a well delivered awesomeness. Oh. Oh god.
Who's your favorite minor character?
Oh god, I have no words. I don't know anymore. Just all I can see is freaking Sean. All I can see is Sean standing there like, are you fucking kidding me, man?
Being given an award that's an insult is just
someone who barely matters. Oh, Jesus. Oh god. Okay.
Yusai for best minor character. I guess she wasn't like that big a deal in this one. She is a minor character in this one.
No, I'm not making Yusai the favorite character.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make Andy's mom my favorite minor character.
Andy's? You mean Phil?
Phil's mom.
Yeah, Phil's mom.
You know what? Great. No, Phil's mom's fine. You know who I'm gonna make my favorite minor character? Are all those poor lab bastards who were left behind for 20 years.
That's a really good one.
Those are who my minor characters are. And they're a group because they did so good. Sorry, Phil's mom, you've fallen off the edge. I do that. You can talk to Nami. So it's gonna be all the awesome scientists who were left behind for 20 years and built up our lab so great.
I think that's great. I think that's perfect. It's wonderful.
Yeah. Okay, what was one of the other ones we did here?
We like to have a favorite moment. We like to have our top drip. We like to do our top 5.
Do we do a favorite panel and a favorite moment in this one, or did we just do our favorite panel?
I think we just do a favorite moment because it's like the same thing.
No, it's not.
And favorite moment, we were trying to pick stuff that's not the obvious, best, most beloved stuff, like something that spoke to us uniquely.
No, because my favorite panel is the punching one, but it's not my favorite moment.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Well, the punching panel is so
my
good.
My favorite panel is the punchy punch one. That is not my favorite moment.
Okay.
What's your favorite panel?
I mean, same thing. It's the best one.
It was the punchy punch one?
Yeah.
When you were like, I don't know what to draw, I was like, psh, I do. Okay, what's your favorite moment?
My favorite moment was genuinely seeing Fuuko lift up her arm and see bullets touching her skin made me immediately understand what was about to happen, and it was so fucking sick.
Aw, that's cool.
Yeah.
I liked that was your favorite moment. Okay, mine was...
Wait. Before you say yours, I want to add something on that because everyone makes Fuuko Luffy comparisons, especially in this part suddenly, and you've been telling me that you saw how she was a Luffy, I couldn't help that when I read that part, I said to myself, gun, pistol, and I thought that was fun.
Oh, that's amazing. You're not wrong. That is totally gun, pistol.
Yeah.
All
right, now...
My very favorite moment was when Fuuko stole Ichiro, or what's her name? Ichiko's soul, and there was all the part, and then it flips forward, and all he goes is, thank freaking goodness, Ichiko. And everyone thought that there was going to be this big fight. I'm sound asleep. Yeah, thanks a bunch, Fuuko. The only thing that puts this blah, blah, blah. Hey, look, Nico, now I'll never fall behind you again. No matter, it's only a time before the lab director's seat is mine and then it flips to him. Thank freaking goodness, Ichiko. And I was like, oh. That was my favorite moment.
It was very cute.
Yeah, it was such love. Like, we didn't need a bunch of words. We didn't need a bunch of things. We just got to see exactly how deep his love was. And that was awesome. I think I grinned so hard there, I almost fell off my chair. Kind of like when I laughed so hard.
Is it just me, or is this manga pretty great?
I'm so grateful that we chose this manga. I know that everyone is like, you're not going to get as many views, and we didn't. And you're not going to get this. And I was like, I'm so glad we chose this manga. It's so happy good. It's so good. I just want to shove it down everyone's throat.
Everyone should be forced to read this manga if you like it. Like, we should do a thing where it's like, hey, if you like One Piece, what the fuck are you doing? Get in here.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's make a thing for shorts and TikTok. Hey, if you aren't reading this, then it's possible you're not very smart.
You way to make bad choices.
You have terrible taste. No. It's not subjective.
Taste isn't subjective. Sandwiches are subjective.
I've heard about sandwiches being subjective. At your sister's shower, we're gonna have apple brie sandwiches.
That's a good sandwich.
An apple brie sandwich as a finger sandwich is
there's
just
some sort
like
of countdown happening. It's weird.
And it's red potato, which is odd.
I mean, Kaido's not here for these.
It's so weird that Kaido doesn't love this show. Hey there, YouTube. It's me, Mama Drawk. Welcome.
Yo, Mama Drawk.
If you're seeing this because you got to this point, you obviously already like this. All I'm asking you to do is if you tell 2 friends and they tell 2 friends, eventually 200 million people will read this and I will never have to worry about not seeing it end the way it's supposed to end. Because this is one of the greatest manga.
Yeah, that's ever. Right, YouTube. The plug isn't for subscribe. It's for read Undead Unluck. It's not even for get people to watch our show. Our plug is for the manga Undead Unluck.
Would you not be reading it? Listen to me. Tell all your people. Become a pusher of Undead Unluck.
Oh, I don't know how to convince people. Well, you read about Fuuko and her convincing people. Take a page out of her book.
Hey, why don't you just get a tattoo on your forehead that says Undead Unluck? People will ask about that.
Why don't you understand people's deepest insecurities and tragedies that are about to befall them and how to put yourself in harm's way to make their lives noticeably better and fix every problem?
Oh, yeah. And if you have time, subscribe and like this because it actually helps us out and we'll find more people who want to get picked on and find out about other good manga. We are reading Witch Atelier right now inside of our Discord. We're going to be reading it with Drawk outside of the Discord going onto YouTube soon. We're also going to be reading Berserk because I like myself too much and we're trying to change that.
Oh, that's so good for you. I'm so excited for Berserk. I've been looking forward to it. I don't know anything about it other than it inspired Dark Souls and it's brutal.
Also, you can follow us here. You can send us letters or gifts to the thing that's coming up on your page right now. I am wearing one of my gifts tomorrow to school. Is it from Undead Unluck? Yes, because it's one of the greatest freaking manga ever. I can't wait to wear that, and I can't wait for a student to be like, oh my God, Undead Unluck. I can't wait for it so much. I'm going to wear it every day until someone says it.
That's the goal. What if someone says it right away? Do you have to stop wearing it forever?
Then I'll be like, oh. I have an Andy t-shirt too, and oh my God, I have an Andy t-shirt. I'm not going to wear them together. That's just weird. They can't be worn together. I'm sorry. That's wrong. I love my Andy t-shirt. I wore it all in Tofino, so I didn't even think I have to go take it out of the RV so I can wear it. Yeah, Sam. Yeah, you did. It's sweet. In Tofino, I met somebody who's read Undead Unluck wearing my Andy shirt.
Is it sweet or is it wicked sick?
It's wicked sick. Wicked sick. But if I wear them, I can be both Undead Unluck. I did not consider that. Ozzy has a good point. You can subscribe, you can send us things, send us letters telling you about your life or postcards from the cool place in the world that you live. We live in a pretty cool place. We always like to find out about other cool places. And when we get to 20,000, we are going to start sending out the invitation to other creators to come join us for One Piece content. They are going to pick their favorite area. We're going to start from the beginning of One Piece and work our way through the entire manga. So if you want to see us work our way through the entire manga with some of your very favorite One Piece creators and Mama Drawk and Drawk, then push us up to 20,000 and we're off and away. Drawk is wicked stuck on not doing it until we hit 20,000. That just is what it is.
I mean,
he's a man of his word.
Well, I probably
he's a man of his word.
It feels like we're close enough. Although the channel, I don't think is growing anymore, which is a shame for that. But hey, we'll get there.
Well, it stopped. It's too late. Sorry, guys. Can't do it.
Guys, never having a crossover.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas and a New Year's to all.
Happy Halloween, Valentine to many. And that's all I have to say about that.
I think that's a pretty good everything to say about that.
Yeah, thank you. I worked really hard on it. Okay, so let's do our countdown of people. Oh my God, you know what happened? When I was saying that I had too good of feelings about myself, and so I needed to read Berserk. All of a sudden, Suri came on somehow, and it says, "Thank you from now," or "I got it from now on. I'll call you Berserk." And I was like, "What?"
The Siri thinks your name is Berserk now. Good job.
What? No, KP, we're within like 30 subscribers of 2.
Yeah, we're insanely close. It just kind of stopped growing.
It was really weird.
Oh, thank you for subscribing.
Doesn't matter.
Oh, it was
Thank
a gift
you,
from
Ozzy.
Ozzy. Thank you.
So now here's the issue. Now when I get off here, I have to decide whether to change what Siri calls me, because now Siri calls me Berserk. Yeah.
And isn't that
I don't know that I like that. Yeah, maybe I am. Why are you drawing red versus blue? Didn't we do red versus blue already?
I don't think so.
Did I tell you that in my first year teaching theater, a kid got on stage and you were supposed to pick something from a genre of media that you really like, and they did a monologue from Red versus Blue, and I was like, "Are you freaking kidding me?"
That's
I feel like
that's big
my
funny.
child's hello, Stazzy boy.
The Stasiest boy around.
Oh, Red Potato, I haven't really told any of my kids. Just a couple of them know that we're here.
Yeah.
Because, then they stare at you. Drip. It's time for drip.
We need the top 2 drip. Who was drippy this?
This is hard. This wasn't a very drippy.
This wasn't the drippiest section.
You know what?
But
I have my top drip.
Really.
I have my top drip. It was
Mine's
little
Mewy.
Gina becoming Gina.
Mine's Mewy, because have you seen her with her space
No,
buns and her crazy
Mewy's
hair?
amazing, and really the top drip is Fang, because he's strong. But little Gina finding out about Gina and wearing the jacket, like that drip came into play. So for me, it's that.
Okay.
And then Fang, because he's naked, and you know I always choose naked people as top drip.
That's so real.
Yeah, well, if you could be hot and look super cool while being naked, that's dripped.
I think I'm gonna need to fix this one up a bit, because this can't make
Fuuko's
it
military outfit was so adorable.
The military toque with the good luck on it, so funny.
And her whole outfit, she looked tight, like it was put together. That's a hard call. I might change mine to Fuuko's military outfit, even though Gina is.
You look great.
Even though Gina's my emotional pick.
Mew.
No, I'm not going to, because for God's sakes, in the inside lapel of Gina's little coat, it has the thing that has the little heart at the top with the arrow. No, baby, no. I'm picking it. Gina's dripped out. I'm done with that.
Yeah.
I will not change my mind. I will not be toyed with.
Okay.
People in here who are interested in Undead Unluck, I would love it if you joined us for Witch Hat Atelier. We just had our very first chat, so there's time to catch up. People who were there, especially freaking Dr. Jack, who apparently went ahead and read the whole damn thing, which was not what we were supposed to do, but Dr. Jack couldn't help himself, and once he got into it, it was too good, and he just read it all. But we have loved it. It is so much deeper. You did too? I see you bad kids! It is so much deeper than we expected, and it's so fun.
I've heard nothing but good things. I'm so excited.
Oh my God, I didn't expect it, Drawk. I really didn't. Like, I thought it was just going to be cozy. And to then have it actually be so freaking cool. Its magic system is immaculate. I'm having so much fun with that. And then we found like layer upon layer of meaning, and we had the coolest talk. It was energizing. That's who I was talking to prior to coming on to watch our movie. And I think you will notice that when we were watching the movie, I was hyped.
You were energized is a great word for the way you were that evening.
Talk, and everyone had so many cool points, and we all just opened up the chat stage and talked together. It was amazing.
Dude, you were fucking wild in that stream.
It was so good, and our talk was so cool. So I had energy. We all like were hype.
It does feel crazy
Yeah,
that
know.
I put a lot of work into like adding the white and stuff, and then realized it looked way worse, and then got rid of it all, and was like, yeah, this was kind of just way better when it was just red and blue and black.
You know what's really amazing is that Peloton Berserker thinks that he can go around just shoving insane in the membrane in my head. Insane in the brain.
You
It's insane in the brain.
You don't know the curse you inflict on her when you mention 90s and early 2000s hip hop.
You kill me. You literally kill me. I'm gonna have to.
Okay. Now, we we gotta do top 5 characters still before we say goodbye.
Oh shit! I was trying to remember what we didn't do, and I thought I did. Okay.
The most.
Can
okay.
I
well,
just
you started the last one. You started the last one. I want to start this one.
You started the last one.
What for top 5? Fine, you start this one. I didn't think so, but go for it.
Can I just say that I think that I thought I was right, and now I don't know.
It is tricky to rock a rhyme.
You
rock around? I thought it was rock a rhyme. Oh, whatever.
You guys, it's tricky to rock a rhyme, not rock around. It's tricky to rock a rhyme to rock a rhyme that's right on time. It's tricky. Tricky. That's okay, Ozzy. We were wrong about lots of things in life. Okay, here we go. Who is my number 1? Fuuko is S++.
Yeah. We did that, yeah.
Okay, my number 1, I was going to make Gina before she got on the rocket, and then I took her off. Because it's not appropriate. It's not appropriate! It's not appropriate to get on the rocket and screw up a possible...
I mean, she did make sure she would be weightless before committing to it.
I'm sorry. No. I thought that Gina should be number 1 as well. But then I also realized that I was kind of being wrong about that. And I know who should be number 1.
Yeah?
And it's Nico.
That's absolutely fair. I think there will be no surprise that my choice for number 2 is Void.
My number 3 is Gina.
Hell yeah for Gina. My number 5 is Monkey Man.
Really?
I appreciated Monkey Man a lot more than I ever have before.
I did too. Do not get me wrong. Do not get me wrong. I appreciated the shit out of Monkey Man.
Number 5 is Monkey Man.
Yeah, number 5 can be filled. I'm doing number 4 now. He just gave me number 4 is all.
Yeah.
All right.
He said
number...
filled, not filled.
No, I'm not making it filled. Don't be ridiculous.
He was suggesting 5 should be Phil, and I was like, oh, come on. That's Monkey Man.
Nothing. Phil is not... No.
You know what's ironic? I don't feel a lot for Phil.
No, I don't either. I feel pretty bad about it, but
it's fine. It's fine. Hey guys, Phil has something great going for him though.
Nope, don't.
And then we move on.
No.
I love when you don't need to say the punchline to a joke. I love it so much. I love training the punchline into people so you don't actually need to finish a joke.
God. Wallman! Maybe actually. Yeah, okay. Oh, Drawk, you took the number I was going to take, and I had a person for that, so I'm going to have to do it as number 4. I don't have a choice.
That's how it be.
It's unending.
Creed? I think Creed, honestly, I think Creed being ahead of Shen is fine for me this time. I think that works.
Yeah,
I think it's a good top 5. I think we did good.
I think so too. I was gonna put Creed at number 5. So no, Lulu.
It's
No. It's
yeah.
unending because undecreased doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
It's unending.
It's a good time to be a cute girl or a buff man. This arc.
Billy is not on. He's not done enough
Billy's
yet.
fine. Look, Billy's been number 1 before.
Yeah, he'll be fine. Billy doesn't need you to stick up for him. He appreciates it. Don't get me wrong. He appreciates your loyalty and your love, but he doesn't need it.
I love how eager Billy is to be like, I'll be the villain to save the world. Like, buddy, come on, chill. Be a knight. You're a sweet boy. Be a hero.
You know what, Billy? Maybe you should just hug someone.
He's so eager to be the bad guy. He's like, no, I must be the bad. Fucking, you need to chill, my guy.
There are other things you could be that aren't the bad guy.
Yeah, unending totally works. Hear me out. The bullets don't end. There, simple as. Or unlimited.
It was
There's no limit
so
to the
hard
bullets.
to not keep reading. It's unending. Yes, Desi, it was. So I continued reading.
So we're gonna read 168 together today before we.
Yeah, right now in this moment as we're sitting here. Do you want to go first or second? Hey.
Yeah.
Do you want to go first or second?
I'll go first on this. This is so here's the deal. The first page is just one page, and then you get 2 in a row because you're on mobile like a crazy person. Exclamation point! Master Shen, thank goodness. Fuuko, Shen's up. Big brother! My wounds are healed. Don't tell me. You used the pill on me! What about your little brother's portion? And you're hurt yourself, Mui. What about... I'm fine.
Since you held yourself back at the last moment, I managed with Mr. Nico's treatment. As for my little brother, I gave him half of a pill, and he has made a full recovery. Oh, good, all that hard work was worth it then. I've been told unless I do this, she covers his eyes, I'll end up saying the opposite. Thank you for what you've done, truly. But you shouldn't be so reckless. You made a promise, didn't you? Huh? I need you to stay healthy until we are both old and gray. Never would I have pegged him as an obedient boyfriend type. By the way, where is everyone, Miss Fuuko and the others? Well, shows the battlefield. That's you, Drawk.
I was looking over the battlefield. Wait a second, why are you fighting? Crap, out of time, huh? What a shame. You could have gotten a single round on me before my dumb disciple awoke. I would have joined your little motley crew. Hey, don't you value your dear disciple's life at all? Do as you please with Shen. I am no longer obligated to rear him. What? Hey! Right, I'll do as I please. I'll be taking Mui also. What? As you wish. Mui isn't your freaking disciple! Fuuko Izumo is the woman who defeated me. Being under her care is the quickest way to achieve your goal of becoming the strongest. Hurry and become the strongest, so that I can be the strongest myself, old man. Farewell. Ah, Mr. Feng, wait a second. Sorry, Mr. Shen. Ah! Oh god, that's horrible.
Wait. She opens his eyeball as big as she can. The thing is, the next mission I have in store will be proving to be quite tough. I'll get dry eye at this rate, so I would love it if I could borrow your help. I need you just this once. Why, you and your shrewd ways know no bounds. However, a mission that a woman of your caliber fears is intriguing. Does that mean I'll hear you out? Whether I will agree to it depends on the details. Damn you all, says Apocalypse. This is a sacred round table. Quit using it as an assembly hall outside of quests. It took 200 long, tough years. Your turn.
We're finally halfway there. Yeah, our numbers have grown quite a bit. It's all because everyone had Oh, wait, that's fuuko. It's all because everyone had faith. Our current numbers of negators is 13. Now all we need are the last 11. And now we look at them all, and I definitely know all these people for sure. I remember every single one of them, especially the guy with the visor.
Girl and Rip.
Yeah,
and
we got
boy.
We got Rip, Latla, Unmove,
And there's some rabbit.
Top. There's a rabbit for some reason.
Listen, this fucking rabbit better be important. Like, it better do something to not make me want to be like,
I look at
up.
Unburn and I'm like, yeah, you're here.
Yeah. And we got Juice.
Okay, your turn.
Leave it to me, no matter what tragedy comes our way. The boss's right-hand gal, her eternal number 2. Good old Gino, we found the boss. Widening the search range like you instructed was the right call. All right, thank you very much. Our next member, huh? Now that I've managed a war, I'm ready to face anything. Fuuko? Why are you grinning? You seem awfully excited. Oh, no reason. I guess you can say it's half worry and half excitement. Our next mission will involve infiltration as well as long-term combat. Long-term combat? The setting for this mission is totally foreign to me. Anything could happen at any time. I'll need 6, no, 10 to accompany. 10? Is this even worse than the war zone? I will now announce the participants.
Gina, heck yeah! Sean, and Mr. Billy. Sure, there's no heights this time around. Mr. Ishian. Me God, me, Mr. Shen. Mui, Mr. Nico, and Miss Ichiko. Taking this many people must be one heck of a mission. Yeah, I bet. And also myself and one other. Can I ask for your help, Mr. Fang? Mission that's making you shake with excitement? Yes, I can only imagine what strong fighters await. I can't wait.
The location is Japan. Come on, please, dude. Let me see your notebook. That old fart is really scary when he gets mad. Please, Chikara. Man, you're a handful. Fine, just this once. You're a lifesaver. Oh my. This isn't your class, is it? Oops, sorry, ma'am. Heading back there now. Rio, you better hurry back with those notes before second period chemistry. Now then, before homework starts, I'd like to introduce our new transfer student. Transfer student? That's rare. Come in.
I'm the one and only Gina from Russia. Oh, it's nice to meet you. Gina, tone it down. I'm from Tokyo. My name is Fuuko Izumu. Very nice to meet you. A Gyaro girl, a perfectly normal girl. It's a Gara fashion girl, sub-fashion, flashy culture. It's a Japanese thing. And a perfectly normal girl next to her. Hey, the two of you can sit down next to Shigeno. What? Nice to meet you. What? Dissatisfied? The high school life I've always dreamed of. Gosh, my heart is racing.
Then, student.
So silly.
Miri, student. John, student. Ishin, principal. Your name? Shigeno. Then why's that name on here? Crap. I copied everything, name and all. Nico, chemistry teacher. Everyone is all set, right? In order to prevent Chika's tragedy. Billy, history teacher. I like that Billy is reading a book. Blind. Carry on.
Hey, it's probably in Braille. Look, it's got little Braille symbols under the letters.
Okay, good. Carry on.
No, it's still your double. It's your double spread.
Oh. The union will be hijacking this school. Ichiko, school nurse. You set me up, Fang, PE teacher. You set me up, Fuuko Izumo. Sorry. Gina, student.
Just so
That's
silly. I love this.
Amazing.
It's great.
Okay, where are we allowed to read to? I'm so glad that we're in high school. I'm familiar with this setting. I think I'll like it.
Yeah, that's weird that you feel like you know the setting that this is going to take place in so well. But did you know that Japanese high school is different and that they grade kids on their bodies and then announce the body grade to everyone and publicly shame the ones who get a low grade body.
Why are you putting Drawk in the middle of this?
Not, I'm just getting the colors.
Because I was worried.
I'm
Do
here
you know
once
that in
again to remind
Japan,
people that Japan has
you know that in
problems.
Japan they actually do a 50-meter dash and everybody knows their 50-meter score and your speed is basically your popularity?
Yep, you've told me that one though. It's the only reason I know that
Because
one.
all the time I think about it, I think about how when I have Japanese students, just to make them be like, what? I sometimes will be like, oh, hey, so and so, what's your 50? And then they'll go, what? I'm like, what's your 50 time? And then they'll look at me and be like, why are you asking?
I mean, she's a grown-ass woman going to high school, but also she was only 18, 19 when she got frozen in time, so she would be able
Yeah,
to
she
pass
looks
for a high
18.
schooler. She is 200.
218.
Well, I mean, she's like 190 total, right? So
I don't know why you're on her. Nobody's angry at Edward for being a million-year-old vampire going to school all the time.
look, yeah, I don't think it ruins this. I don't think it ruins anything that she's an immortal vampire coming to high school. I think it's fine. She's allowed to do that.
As long as she's not hooking up with anyone.
Yeah, just don't. And I don't think she will because she's waiting for Andy.
Yeah, well, I would imagine because she can't hook up with anyone because we talked about that. She kills them.
Yeah, I agree with you, Odd D User. I think the second two people have both lived longer with magical powers than any human ever could. Age difference no longer means anything. Like, with two immortals who are older than anyone could ever live, it truly doesn't matter.
I think you're at a point where you're just like, whatever. You know what? They had to do it anyways because Andy, the immortal longtime person, and then her, the actual 19-year-old, would have been like barfaroni. But her having like 200 years now.
Yeah, it works.
We're good.
It works really well.
Yeah. Because she's gone through a different level of maturing now. And what are we going to say? Andy can't hook up with anyone who's not at least 3 billion years old?
Yeah.
That's not appropriate. He'll be alone
Even
forever.
if you ignore it, she would be okay. The fact that she's like an 18-year-old going to class with a bunch of 15-year-olds is weirder. But some girls do just like. I find it's way more common for like a 15-year-old girl to look 18 than with boys. So I think she can get away with it. It just is weird. Like, absolutely, she can get away with it.
Yeah. All right. Did we have anything to do before we are done? Where are we reading to next? 167 is today, so 192?
Yeah, what's the number, guys? What's our number?
198. These guys are slave drivers. They always give us 30. That's 31.
They're giving. I mean, we said 35 was our max, and they've gone above it a few times, but I think we can do that. 198's good. That means there's only like 2 more episodes of this.
Are you serious? We're almost done this one?
We're almost done, dude.
And then when we're done, let's have a let's see if Jackie would like to come for actual and be in it, and we'll talk about it.
That'd be so cool.
Yeah.
I think we should work on. I'm gonna buy our better mics so that we have better mic quality for when Jackie's on. I think having better mic quality for when we do crossovers is nice.
For when we do crossovers?
For when we start doing crossovers, I want to have our better mics by then. All right, guys.
Okay. We haven't talked about the next series. We haven't decided if it's going to be Witch at Atelier.
Yeah. All right,
hey,
guys.
Mama,
For now,
cooler than
we have to
being
pick someone
cool?
to raid.
Ice cold.
Melon tea. We do like melon tea here.
Yeah, raid melon tea. I agree. No, Odd User, it's not being Sean. You know what, Odd User? Why don't you start dating him and break up? See how that goes for you.
All right, everybody. I'm going to be sending you all over there, so we got to do our sign off. Until next time, I've been unfiltered. I've been unfiltered. You're on edge. I've been unfiltered.
And I've been unhinged.
Oh wait, the until next time comes after. We got to restart so we can be used for YouTube.
Do it again.
I've been unfiltered.
I've been unhinged.
And until next time.
Squish on squishies.
It's been lovely talking to you, guys. I'll figure it out at some point. We'll do it right one day. Don't you worry.
Read Witch at Atelier.